Salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo at sa ating pong pinunong mayorya. A'udhu billahi minasyaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Isang magandang hapon po sa ating pong sponsor at sa amin pong idolo, Senator Bato de la Rosa.
Before the gentleman continues, Senator Padilla is recognized for his interjection. You may proceed, sir.
Meron lamang po akong katanungan po sa DDB at sa PIDEA. Ginoong sponsor, ito pong the World Health Organization ay nagrekomenda po sa Commission on Narcotic Drugs. Ang counterpart po nito ng DDB ay ang United Nations. Ang sabi po dito, to allow CBD with 0.2% THC to be reclassified in the 1971 United Nations Convention on Psychotropic Substances as Schedule 4, or substance with currently accepted medical use in treatment and has a low potential for abuse. In December 2020 po, the United Nations voted to reschedule cannabis, downgrading it by one level from the list of the world's most dangerous drugs, those deemed to have no therapeutic value and which require special governance protocols due to their uniquely high-risk profile. The most significant change to the body's policy on the plant in 60 years. Ang tanong po, noong nagkaroon po kami ng mga pagdinig patungkol po sa medical cannabis, ang nangako po sa amin, nagbigay po ng salita ang DDB at ang PIDEA noong panahon na yon, na babaguhin po nila at susunod po sila kung ano po ang naging advice ng WHO tsaka ng United Nations po na pag-reschedule ng cannabis. So ang tanong po, Ginoong Pangulo, kailan po namin makukuha ang permiso o ang papeles galing po sa DDB at PIDEA na kanila pong susundin yung kanilang ipinangako na downgrading it by one level?
Yes, Mr. President, Your Honor, PIDEA is, wala pong problema sa PIDEA. They are willing to do everything to downgrade marijuana. But the problem is we really have to amend the law, RA 9165, because, before we can do otherwise, because it was, marijuana is annexed in this law as one of the prohibited substance. So, ang gagawin natin daw, Your Honor, Mr. President, is that i-amend muna natin itong RA 9165.
Okay po. Parang sinasabi po ba ng DDB tsaka ng PIDEA na unahin nating amendahan yung batas bago po itong pagre-reschedule nila? Downgrading? Ganun po ba ang mahal na sponsor? Di kaya maging chicken and egg?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President, because the power of DDB, as far as the stipulated in Section 93 of RA 9165, which is reclassification, addition, or removal of any drugs from the list of dangerous drugs, should be anchored in legal framework for the regulation and control of dangerous drugs, including the authority to reclassify. Ang problema kasi, Your Honor, is that pwede sila mag-reclassify kapag hindi siya naka-annex dito sa RA 9165. Pero in this case, marijuana for that matter is annexed in the RA 9165. So yung limitation na kailang power to reclassify ay dapat matanggal muna sa annex ng RA 9165 ang marijuana bago sila makapag-reclassify, Your Honor, Mr. President. But as far as the willingness, as far as their approval, as far as their cooperation is concerned, they're very much willing to do everything. Officially, they have manifested their willingness to cooperate with the move of the good gentleman from Camarines Norte as far as reclassifying marijuana from or downgrading marijuana. So ang gawin lang natin, Your Honor, is i-amend muna ang batas para matanggal siya sa annex. Then they promise, they are in full support with our efforts. It is not only your effort, also my effort. Kaisa tayo dyan sa ating hangarin na ma-develop yung medical marijuana dito sa ating bansa, Your Honor, Mr. President.
Apo, maraming salamat po. Yun lamang po ang gusto natin marinig, opisyal. Opisyal po na tayo po ay makikipagtulungan po sa atin ang PIDEA at ang Dangerous Drugs Board. Maraming salamat po. Meron lang po kasi dito, sinasabi po ng ating sponsor na doon po sa batas, may annex. Saan po ba yun? Kasi kanina pa po namin re-review yung batas. Kasi dito po sa batas malinaw na sinasabi na ang PIDEA at ang DDB, sila yung pwede na silang mag-reclassify. At sila po yung bubuo ng magpo-promulgate sila. At sila po yung magre-reclassify. At sila po ang sasuggest. Sila po ang magsasabi sa Kongreso doon po sa ginawa nilang aksyon. Pwede pong malaman sa kanila kung nasaan po yung annex. Kasi kanina pa po kami naghahanap.
Your Honor,
Section 93. Sorry po. Section 93. Wala po talaga.
naka-annex siya na, Your Honor. 1988 United Nations Convention Against Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs. 1961 United Nations Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs as amended by the 1972 Protocol. Number 22 po sa list na yun, yung annex na list na yun is cannabis and cannabis resin and extracts and tinctures of cannabis.
Majority Leader. Yes, Mr. President, next to interpolate is Senator Raffy Tulfo. I move that he be recognized.
Senator Raffy Tulfo is recognized.
Thank you, Mr. President. Good sponsor. I'd like to put it on record that I fully support the budget of the DBB and PIDEA. However, I have some few clarificatory questions, which are very basic, and I'm sure it's very easy for the good sponsor to answer this, being a veteran law enforcement member. My first question is about doon sa tinatawag na drug watch list and order of battle. Paano po nailalagay sa listahan ang isang tao doon?
Your Honor, it started from the barangay level. The information was collected from the barangay level, then binabalidate up to the municipal level, provincial level, regional level, hanggang sa nabuo yung watch list at the national level, Your Honor.
Okay. So meron ho bang pagkakaiba sa listahan ng mga drug user versus drug pushers?
Yes, Your Honor, may separate list po yan, yung mga users at saka yung pushers.
Okay.
But sometimes, nakakategorize sila, pero sometimes may isang tao na he's a user at the same time, a pusher. So kasama siya sa dalawang listahan doon. User na, pusher pa.
At meron din po ang PIDEA listahan ng mga supplier at manufacturers.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The reason I asked that, Mr. President, the good sponsor, years ago, ilan ng mga napunta sa aking mga complainants na nailagay ang pangalan nila sa drugs watch list, samantalang malinis naman sila. So ang duda nila, meron silang kapitbahay o merong galit sa kanila na may connection sa barangay, sa law enforcement, kaya inilagay ang pangalan nila doon. In some cases, in the past, may napapatay pa dahil dyan. So paano pong maiwasan natin na mangyari yan ulit?
Yeah, Your Honor, if kung nangyayari daw yan noon, right now, mahirapan na daw mangyari yan dahil all law enforcement agencies involved in anti-drug operations are strictly comparing notes at binabalidate nila. Noon, posibleng mangyari yan, pero ngayon, mahirap na daw. Dahil nga, ang validation process ay periodic at palaging ginagawa, Your Honor.
So halimbawa po, Mr. President, good sponsor, ang isang taong nagtatrabaho sa barangay at sabihin natin officials ng barangay at meron siyang galit na tao sa kanilang barangay. So ilalagay niya sa listahan yung isang taong yon and then may connection siya sa PNP at ibabalidate yung sinabi nung taga-barangay na naglagay sa listahan ng kagalit niya. And so my question then is, what degree of proof ang kailangan para ma-ensure na yung ginagawa nitong barangay official na ito dahil galit lang siya sa isang tao ay hindi makakalusot at hindi dumating sa hindi kanais-nais, which is ma-raid yung bahay niya, mahuli siya, maplantahan siya, etc. Kasi in some cases, siguro alam niyo po ito, good sponsor, marami sa mga kababayan natin, especially yung mga mahirap, na napagdidiskitahan, hinuhuli, at alam naman natin, wala sila talagang kasalanan at pinaplantahan.
We understand those unfortunate incidents, Your Honor, pero as of now, the PDEA Director General is giving us the assurance na mahirap na daw yung mangyari ngayon because the management of the watch list, this is identification and validation of individuals involved in the illegal drugs and formulation of PDEA, PNP certified BADAC, Barangay Anti-Drug Abuse Council's watch list. This is for the purpose of identifying individuals to be recommended for appropriate intervention programs such as treatment and rehabilitation of persons who use drugs and reformation program for qualified posers. Posibleng mangyari yan talaga, Your Honor, kung may mga tao na may masamang intensyon na magbigay ng wrong information doon sa PNP or sa PDEA para yung kalaban ba niya sa negosyo, kalaban ba niya sa politika, or na gusto niya may isama sa listahan, posible yan, makarating yan doon, pero with the very stringent validation process being conducted by these agencies, PDEA, PNP, and local government units, and the barangay and the municipal drug abuse councils, baka mahirap na yan mangyari ngayon, Your Honor.
So, thank you, good sponsor, Mr. President. So, yung listahan ng PDEA at ng PNP pagdating sa drug watch list or order of battle, magkapareho or in some ways magkaiba?
Yes, Your Honor. Magkaisa na po yung listahan dahil kinukonsolidate nila, nagko-coordinate sila palagi, yung NBI, PNP at PDEA, iniisa na yung listahan. And we are no longer using the term order of battle, Your Honor. Watch list na lang yung nakalagay doon sa
Drugs watch list. Kasi in the past, sikat na sikat yung salitang order of battle.
Military term yan.
Pag nilagay ka doon sa listang order of battle, delikado ng buhay mo.
Yes,
It's either
Your Honor.
mapaplantahan ka at makukulong ka or sementeryo.
Yes, Your Honor.
So ang sa akin lang po kasi, gusto ko lang maiwasan na yung mga inosente, of course, galit po ako sa droga, tulad natin lahat dito, sana yung mga maliliit nating kababayan, yung mga talaga inosente, hindi mapagplantahan, mapagbintangan at makulong dahil sila ay napagdiskitahan lamang at sila ay nasa kulungan. And I'll tell you, it's a fact na napakaraming mga kababayan tayo dyan sa city jail na nag-aantay ng kaso nila ma-resolve na inosente, believe it or not. Napakarami yan, and you know that the good sponsor, number one, pinantahan sila. Number two, wala silang pampiyansa. Number three, mahirap sila. Yun yung tatlo, kaya hanggang ngayon nabubulok sila sa city jail. So, having said that, sana maging careful ang ating mga taga-PDEA, law enforcement, sa pag-qualify ng isang taong whether he's a drug user, drug pusher, or not. Para naman masarap yung mga inosente doon sa mga talagang totoong mga pushers. Now, nagsusuot ba ng body-worn camera ang mga PDEA operatives tuwing sila po ay pupunta sa field? I mean, at 100% rate. Kasi sa PNP, sa 10 na gagawa ng operation sa field, yung isa salamat kung meron, tapos sira-sira pa yung camera at hindi pa umaandar. Sa PDEA, hindi ba ganon?
PDEA has 100% body-worn camera to all its operatives during anti-drug operations, Your Honor.
100%. Right?
100% complete.
Very good, excellent. It's very nice to hear. Now, yung pong mga nakukolekta na ebidensya ng mga operatives sa field, saan po dinadala yun? Saan po ini-store?
We have evidence custodian, Your Honor, na nagtatago sa mga ebidensya, provincial offices, regional offices, Your Honor. Doon po nakalagay yung mga nakatambak yung mga ebidensya.
Okay. Gaano ka-secure po yung evidence room, kung tawagin if you will, na masiguro hindi po malulusutan yun, meaning wala pong mga loko-loko sa PDEA ang kukuha ng ebidensya doon, makakuha ng ilang droga doon para i-recycle tulad ng ginagawa ng ilang taga-PNP na nababalitaan natin.
Pwede recycle or pwedeng gamitin mismo, Your Honor.
Pwedeng gamitin mismo.
Mga drug abuser na mga tao.
So how secured?
Security measures in safekeeping evidence. Installed the following for safety and added security. CCTV cameras inside the evidence room and its vicinity. fire extinguishers with proper labels and instructions of use. Metal grills were installed around the facility. Double doors were metal instead of wood. The doors were secured with 3 sets of locks, which are in the custody of 3 authorized laboratory service key holders, such that the absence of a key holder makes access to the evidence room impossible. Biometrics will also be installed outside the evidence room to control access to the facility. So, napaka-secure na po yung kanilang evidence room, Your Honor. Dahil 3 may hawak ng susi. Kung hindi present yung 3, hindi ma-open yung evidence room. And so, chances are na yung 3, hindi yan magkakaisa na gumawa ng kalokohan. May mga, mga safety features na ginagawa, kaya hindi sila magkakaisa.
Thank you, Mr. President, Madam Sponsor. Good sponsor. Now, pagdating po dun sa pagkukolekta ng mga ebidensya sa field o inukuha ng mga ebidensya sa field, up to the point na yun po ay ilalagay doon sa storage room, ano po mga procedure ang ino-observe para masiguro, for example, may nakuha silang 1 kilo sa field at pagdating po doon sa storage room, 1 kilo pa rin papasok na wala pong nangumisyon o nag-cut ng kalahating kilo along the way.
Your Honor, according to the PDEA, the chain of custody of evidence is strictly being observed by every operatives of PDEA, Your Honor.
Wala ho bang third party? Kasi kung mga PDEA, sila lang, pwede po magsabuatan yun. Dapat po may third
Your
party.
Honor,
Halimbawa, taga-media.
always during operations, we seek the presence of local government officials and members of the media as witness in the conduct of our operations as required by law. So sila yan mismo, yung mga taga-media, mag-iingay yan kapag meron silang naobserbahan na mga ginagawang hindi maganda, yung mga operatiba natin sa field, Your Honor. Lalong-lalo na yung mga sinatawag natin na savings, mabubulabog yan dahil mayroong outsider coming from the media and coming from the local government, o barangay, na magbabantay doon sa ginagawa nila, Your Honor.
Thank you. Thank you, good sponsor. Ang ibig ko rin kasi sabihin, the good sponsor, Mr. President, yung bang pag-transport ng ebidensya from point A, doon sa field, to point B, doon po sa storage room, na-observe ng hindi lamang ng mga taga-PDEA, kundi third party, alam mo, taga-media, na yung 1 kilo na na-collect sa field, dapat 1 kilo din ang pumasok at yun din po yung mismo, yung mga droga na yun ang talagang nakuha at exact na timbang pa rin. At same pa rin ang laman nung kung yung po ba yung mga sachet, yung po ba yung supot, etc. Kasi
Your
pwede
Honor,
magkaroon ng switching eh.
mahirap talaga daw na pakialaman yung pag namarkahan na dahil the inventory is right there at the crime scene. Pag gawa ng inventory doon sa crime scene, namarkahan yan kung ilang pounds, ilang grams yan, pagkarga doon sa evidence van, papunta doon sa evidence room, ay sigurado yan na pagdating doon, the same pa rin. Kasi sine-check naman nung mag-receive na evidence custodian doon sa evidence room, kung anong nakalagay doon, kinikilo, tinitimbang niya ulit doon pagdating, Your Honor. Kaya mahirapang galawin ng mga tao. Meron ding nagbibideo, mga pictures, kaya sinisiguro natin na hindi nila matamper yung evidence, Your Honor.
Okay, thank you, Mr. President. Good sponsor. Now, let's talk about destroying the drugs. Kapag natapos na po yung kaso sa korte, I would assume na yung mga drugs na yun ay kailangan i-destroy. Paano po yung destruction process na ginagawa?
The procedure of destruction, Your Honor, goes this way. First, we have to secure court order for the destruction from the court or written order from the Director General PDEA. If there is no case filed, Number 2, to take pictures of the evidence. Number 3, reweigh the evidence. Number 4, re-examine the evidence. Number 5, take representative samples pursuant to the provisions of Board Regulations Number 1, Series of 2002. And number 6, burn dangerous drugs using thermal method.
Okay. Yes, I understand. Now,
Yes.
doon po sa burning na proseso, sino-sino po ang present at nag-observe para masiguro na yung mga sinusunog ay yung pa rin po yung mga drugs na nanggaling doon sa storage na may court order na pwede na i-destroy?
Your Honor, the witnesses prescribed by law, accused or counsel for the accused, DOJ representative, media representative, elected public official, and civil society group cannot proceed to the destruction site at a short notice. Moreover, the said witnesses cannot proceed to the destruction activity on an almost daily basis. So, but still, pinagsisikapan na ito, pag lalong-lalo na yung destruction ng malakihan, Your Honor, nire-require talaga na yung presensya nito mga tao na ito.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Good sponsor. Ano pong ginagawa ng PDEA na para masiguro yung monitoring ng kanilang mga agent na hindi mapasok sa pagbebenta ng illegal na droga or mismo sila ay gumagamit na pala ng droga?
We have continuing counterintelligence efforts, Your Honor, meaning we are monitoring all our personnel as far as their daily activities is concerned. And yun sama sa paggamit ay nagkakaroon tayo ng mga random drug testing to our personnel from time to time para mahuli yung mga gumagamit. Lalo na yung mga suspected na tingin natin ay gumagamit na, we require them to undergo a drug test, Your Honor.
Thank you. So far, ilan na po yung mga PDEA agents ang natanggal sa trabaho na sibak dahil sila po pala ay later on, they were found out to be drug users na?
Your Honor, our data here for internal cleansing data, calendar year 2011 up to October of 2024. Dismissed, we have 96 PDEA agents. Suspended, 164.
96 and 164. So ito po mga PDEA agents na nakitaan or napatunayan na sila pala ay later on ay gumagamit na ng droga.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So na-determine ng PDEA the reasons bakit nangyari ito. So ano po mga programa ginagawa ang PDEA na para ma-ensure na hindi na maulit to? Of course, sinabi niyo may mga random drug testing. Wala ho ba kayong ginagawang studies bakit ang isang PDEA agent ay nalululong sa droga at na-involved sa drug trafficking? At yung mga follow-up question, yung mga po na-dismiss, na binanggit niyo ng mga numbers, na-dismiss sila because are they drug users, drug pushers, o naging drug suppliers na rin?
Your Honor, bihira na po tayo nagkakaroon ng solid PDEA personnel na nag-operate, Your Honor. Most of the time, pag nag-operate ng PDEA, it is together with other law enforcement agency like PNP or NBI para mas maiwasan yung mga kung may plano silang gumawa ng kalukuhan, Your Honor, may counter-checking among and between law enforcement agencies.
Thank you. Good sponsor. Last
Your,
question.
Your Honor,
Just,
last question?
Sundays operatives.
Can I have...
Out of the 95 dismissed, 164 suspended, 4 fined, 103 admonished from 2011 to 2024, ilan po doon ang dahil sa drugs?
Lahat, Your Honor, yung 22, puro drug-related ito.
Laton. Napakarami.
Positive sa drugs.
So, suspended, 164 positive sa drugs to. So, when you say suspended, so naibalik sila. And admonish, 103.
Pag drug-related, Your Honor, dismiss kagad, tanggal. Hindi pwede yung suspension. Itong mga suspension na ito, mga minor administrative
Okay.
violation siguro, Your Honor.
Okay. So,
kaya
itong
sila
95
suspended.
ang dismissed.
Yes, Your
Ang
Honor.
involved sa drug kasi 95. Okay, at hindi na po sila naibalik.
Hindi na ibalik.
Okay, great. Now let's talk about the reward system, Mr. President, good sponsor. Paano po yung procedure sa pagbibigay ng reward? Ito ho ba, I would assume, ay sa mga tipster?
Your Honor, there are two kinds of uh, reward system. One is for the tipster, yung informant, nagbigay ng informasyon na nag-positive, yung operations. At pangalawa, yung mga lumen, yung mga operative mismo, AFP, PNP, Padilla, lahat binibigyan ng monetary reward, Your Honor.
Okay. Kaya ako po natanong yan, so paano po natin malaman na yung binigyan ng reward ay kapitbahay lang pala ng isang operative at siya naman talaga ang nagtrabaho kaya natumbok niya yung isang, say, drug den, and then after na matumbok niya, sabi niya, para kumita ko rito kasi kung idideklara niya siyang nakita, ibibigyan siya ng medalya versus kung sabihin niya may tipster siya, magkakaroon pa siya ng pera. So ang gagawin niya, tatawag siya ng kapitbahay niya o kainuman niya, pre, total, tatakuban naman yung mukha mo eh. Papalabasin ko na lang ikaw ang tipster ko at mabibigyan ka ng milyones. So paano natin masiguro na hindi po nangyari yun sa PDEA?
Your Honor, merong board po na nag-deliberate dito sa mga bibigyan ng reward. Hindi lang po ito, ang board is not purely composed of PDEA officers, but merong taga-academ, merong taga-religious sector, may business sector. There are 4 sectors being represented here, Your Honor, aside from the law enforcement. Dalawa from the business daw, Your Honor. So sila po yung bibet ng nagkakandak ng vetting process doon sa mga tatanggap ng rewards, Your Honor. At kasama doon sa vetting is to see to it na hindi ito hausyaw na tao, personality na ginamit lang ng pulis para ultimately yung reward mapupunta lang din sa pulis. Mga civilian po ito, Your Honor. Hindi po makalusot yung mga diskarte ng mga law enforcement na gano'n na scheme, Your Honor.
So ibig sabihin, from the very start na dinedevelop ng kanilang informante, yung isa pong pinaproject nilang say drug den, nakalista na po yung pangalan ng informante yon hanggang sa naging positive yung pag-raid at naging successful doon na sa drug den, saka ibibigay reward dun sa informante yon dahil siya yung nasa listahan from the get-go mula sa umpisa hanggang sa naging successful yung pagkahuli o pagka-raid ng isang drug den na pre-project.
Not necessarily, Your Honor, yung pangalan niya mismo makuha, no, malista. But from the very start, the fingerprint of that tipster is already being taken from him. Hanggang sa matapos, the same fingerprint pa rin yung ginagamit para pag-claim ng reward. Kasi there are instances wherein informants, yung tipster, ayaw nila mabulabog yung kanilang identity. So hanggang kuha lang tayo, yung right thumb fingerprint, Your Honor.
Okay, hindi po ako namimaloso po, good sponsor, Mr. President.
Yeah, but the handler, of course, the handler, Your Honor, kilala niya yung tao.
Kaya
Yung
nga
handler.
po.
Aside from the fingerprint, personal identity niya, kilala ng handler.
Kanyari, si Mario, isang PDEA agent, at meron po siya na-discovery na isang malaking bahay ng supplier, drugs. Alam niya na yon dahil siyempre sa kanyang experience and all. And then sabi niya, maging successful ang pag-raid ko rito. Ito ay magbubunga. So tatawag siya ng kanyang kapitbahay at ipapapingerprint niya para sabihin niya na kapag ito ay naging successful, ikaw ang sasabihin kong informante ko rito para kumita, kahati tayo sa kita. Yun po ibig sabihin. So paano natin maiwasan na mangyari po yun na talagang legit yung informante, talagang nagbigay siya ng tamang informasyon at hindi nakihati o nakikomisyon lamang yung PDEA agent.
Your Honor, during the deliberation of the rewards, ay mahuhuli po yan dahil sa interview portion. In-interview, although hindi pinapakita yung mukha, in-interview siya at malalaman ng mga members ng board kung ito ay drama-drama lamang or scripted yung kanilang papel doon sa drug bust na yun, Your Honor. Malalaman po, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. President. Good sponsor. Now, nais ko palang pasalamatan ng PDEA kung hindi ko pa kayo napasalamatan nung gumawa po ako ng surprise visit sa mga bus stations at sumama po ang ilang PDEA agents at nag-conduct ng drug testing at isa nga doon naging positive. Now, doon po sa drug testing, ano po yung nahuli doon? Is it shabu lamang? Kasama ba doon yung cocaine, marijuana?
Your Honor, yung test kit na ginamit doon sa request mo na testing ay 4. Shabu, marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, Your Honor. Pwede daw magiging 6 or 7 pero mas mahal. Mahal yung test kit na yun kung i-cover pa yung ibang types of drugs. Pero sa atin, yung prevalent na drug abuse is by the use of shabu, marijuana, cocaine, and ecstasy, Your Honor.
Okay. Marijuana, cocaine, ecstasy, and shabu.
Yes, Your Honor. Isang kit lang yun, pero all those 4 substances can be tested and can be found out kapag ikaw ay positive doon. Sa
Ecstasy,
apat yan.
kasama po yung ecstasy.
Kasama, Your Honor, ecstasy.
Paano po kung heroin addict po yung na-test?
Wala. Hindi kasama doon sa 4.
Hindi kasama.
Hindi kasama sa 4, Your Honor.
Paano kung PCP addict siya? Hindi rin kasama, lusot siya. Paano kung codeine and morphine addict siya? Lusot din siya.
Pinoprofile daw, Your Honor, yung idadrug test natin. Halimbawa, malaman sa kanyang background na yung kanyang involvement ay nandoon sa ganitong klaseng drug. So, yun ang gagamitin po na test kit.
Mahirap po yung profiling. Kailangan po talaga yung scientific science. So siguro po, sabi niyo may kamahalan, baka pwede tayo mag-invest na yung 7-panel coverage na doon sa lahat na nabanggit ko. Especially kung ito po ay mga taong may kaya sa buhay.
Yes, Your Honor. And even the follicle test that you've been advocating, Your Honor.
Yung hair follicle test, yes.
Follicle test.
Hanapan po natin ang budget yan na sana po magkaroon tayo ng...
Ay, still being developed, Your Honor. Development of hair follicle drug testing, 13 million. So they developed that, Your Honor.
Billion o million?
Million. 13 million.
Mura lang.
Mura lang, Your Honor.
Sige po.
Development stage ba, Your Honor? Hindi pa alam. Baka later, may additional na gasto pa ito.
With the indulgence of the Senator Tulfo, is there any private hair follicle center here in Philippines?
Right now, Your Honor, we have the high precision diagnostic laboratory. Pero pag hair follicle testing daw, Your Honor, dinadala pa sa abroad. Doon pa tinitest yung sample.
So you will know the results by how many weeks or how many months?
Average 2 weeks daw, Your Honor, yung hair follicle test.
Doon sa private.
Doon sa private.
Alright. So wala pa tayo sa sa
Sir?
government agency, wala tayong we do not have any hair follicle testing center.
Right now, Your Honor, for the information of the body, wala pang na-accredit ang DOH ng hair follicle testing center o laboratory dito sa Pilipinas.
Alright.
So wala pa. Magiging first pa itong dinedevelop ng PDEA pag ito yung naging successful.
Thank you. Senator Tulfo, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President. Now, good sponsor, dumako tayo dun sa mga dredging vessels. During my last hearing sa Public Services, tinanong ko po yung DOTR and even the Bureau of Immigration and Coast Guard, pag may dumating na foreign vessels na gagawa ng dredging dito, sometimes from China, tinanong ko sila kung anong klaseng inspection ang ginagawa nila na para masiguro na walang droga may papasok. So, sila daw ay umaakyat doon at gumagamit ng K9. And then in-inspection po yung maleta. Wala ho bang presence ang PDEA doon para kapag halimbawa may naamoy yung aso na kahina-hina lang, suspected drugs, agad-agad ang PDEA ang gagawa ng confirmation because they're the agency na may capability makapagsabi na kung drugs ba yun o hindi. Hindi yung Coast Guard.
Right now, Your Honor, wala doon talaga. Wala silang presensya doon sa nagbo-board sa vessel na nag-inspection. Purely custom.
Wala ho ba kayong balak na makipag-MOA sa DOTR para ma-involve po kayo sa pag-aakyat sa mga barko na gagawa ng dredging dito? And these vessels came from countries na suspected source of drugs coming to our country.
We will coordinate, Your Honor. Sa ngayon, wala talaga. So, but we are interested on that subject and we will coordinate with the OTR.
On a weekly basis kasi po, maraming dumarating dito ng mga vessels from other countries to do dredging. At malalaking barko po ito at marami po mga crew dito. So pwede pong isiksik yung mga supot-supot o sako-sakong drugs kung saan-saan yan, sa engine, sa ilalim ng kama o what have you. So kung may kasamang PDEA at Coast Guard, mag-stand puwersa, masiguro natin 99% na pumapasok ay walang drogang karga, hindi makakalusot yung droga papasok ng bansa.
Yes, Your Honor, it's very possible to happen, but right now we are planning to coordinate with kung anong agency yung nagko-control ng mga dredging vessels na yan para makasama ang PDEA sa boarding party to conduct the inspection.
Okay. Last na lamang po.
Yes.
Mr. President, good sponsor. May presence po ba ang PDEA sa Bureau of Customs compound?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ano po yung ginagawa ng PDEA doon sa Bureau of Customs? Ano po yung kanilang mga duties and responsibilities sa loob po ng Customs compound?
Your Honor, the presence of PDEA can be observed in the airport and the NAIA airport and the MICP. Kasama po sila doon sa interdiction team with the PNP, Coast Bureau of Customs, NICA, and PDEA. Visual security of the PNP, Your Honor, kasama po sila doon sa interdiction team para mag-search ng mga parcels na dumarating.
Okay. Kasi sa Bureau of Customs, Your Honor, may tinatawag na X-ray. Okay. Yung dadaan sa yellow lane and red lane, yun yung nafa-flag down na possible may problema. Especially kung ito ay galing sa mga bansa, itong container na ito, na hotbed ng drugs. So, dapat, ibig sabihin, nandun yung PDEA na randomly magbukas ng mga container at gumamit ng K9 para amuyin yung mga kargamentong yun. Yun po ba yung ginagawa na ng PDEA? At kapag ginagawa, bakit po nakalusot yung yung magnetic container na kilo-kilo, daan-daang kilong shabu?
Your Honor, pagdating kasi dyan daw sa yung portion na yan, it's a purely customs area and sila po ang nasusunod dyan. The only thing that PDEA can do is to be there once their presence is requested by the customs. Hindi po sila na on their own, papasok doon sa custom zone at maghanap randomly ng target, Your Honor. Kailangan talagang dadaan pa sila sa customs authorities for coordination purposes.
Exactly. So, wala bang balak ang PDEA na makipag-MOA sa Department of Finance, the DBB and the Department of Finance, kasi yung Customs is under Department of Finance, para maobliga yung mga taga-Bureau of Customs, payagan po yung mga taga-PDEA na magkaroon ng presence sa loob ng compound nila for the purpose of looking out for drugs na possible na na-smuggle papasok na bansa.
We will try to coordinate with the Department of Finance, Your Honor. If it is feasible, we will try, Your Honor. Maganda po talaga yan. Maganda po talaga yan. Kailangan talaga yung proactive approach pagdating dyan. Hindi yung nakatambay nga ang PDEA doon sa loob ng MICP or sa loob ng NAIA, pero maghintay lang kung kailan itatap yung services nila by the Bureau of Customs. Dapat on their own sana, kung pwede, meron silang information na narinig, na natanggap na itong particular container ba na ito, posible itong may laman, dapat on their own, kaya na nila kagad umaksyon. Pero as said, Your Honor, we have to go through the customs authorities. So, yung suggestion mo, Your Honor, is being considered seriously by PDEA.
Thank you. Last naman talaga, sponsor. 41.3% of first-time drug users were between ages 15 and 19. 1 in 3 students in the 12th grade experienced using marijuana. Alam mo ba ito ng PDEA? At kung alam ng PDEA ito, ano pong ginagawa ng PDEA at meron ba kayong mga programa para ma-address ito? Thank you.
Your Honor, that data came from DDB, and the DDB is strengthening the preventive education, advocacy, civic awareness by strengthening the drug education program in the schools. And the establishment of special drug education centers at a community level
Thank you, Mr.
for
President.
out-of-school youth.
Thank you, Mr. President. The good sponsor. Thank you very much.
Thank you,
PDEA.
Mr. President.
President, last to interpolate will be our Minority Leader, Senator Pimentel. Move that he be recognized.
Senator Pimentel, our distinguished minority floor leader, is recognized for his interjections. You may proceed, sir.
Sige po, maraming salamat, Mr. President. To our sponsors, we are discussing the budget of six institutions.
Yes, Mr. President,
Sige
Your
po.
Honor.
Wala silang commonality, so talon-talon tayo.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige po. Let me start with Mindanao Development Authority. So 300, our committee report gives them 334 million. Rounded off, no? 334 million pesos budget nila.
Yes, Your Honor.
Can the new head, I think the new head is Mr. Leo Magno, give us a little story. Ano bang nangyari dyan? Bakit nagtampo si old head si Ma'am Acosta? Ano bang, what's the issue there?
According to the current head, Mr. President, Your Honor, is that the former head of Minda was questioning or is questioning the appointment of the new because she is claiming that her appointment is fixed.
Wala, ano bang
term.
under the law? Is it a term? Are you appointed for a term?
Yes, doon sa law, Mr. President, Your Honor, fixed terms siya. Pero may decision na ang... there is a decision coming from the lower court that yung position is... the current appointee can serve at the pleasure of the President.
Sige, so there's an ongoing case pa rin. Hindi nyo na-settle?
The former chief of Minda has not yet appealed to the latest ruling of the local court, Your Honor.
Sige, pero umabot tayo sa decision of the court. It was not amicably settled na lang. So she did not accept the explanation. But at any rate, let's go back to the budget. Our committee, led by our very able and very studious chairman, increased, para alam ni Minda, increased the budget of Minda by 67 million. Bakit po?
Your Honor, that's correct. Because we increased that at the committee level for 67.155 million. The increase covers Minda Digitalization Innovations Program worth 30 million. Then support for the sustainable operations of the Mindanao River Basin Program, 10.155 million. Strengthening the indigenous peoples in Mindanao Program, Year 2, 27 million, Your Honor.
Bakit meron palang Mindanao River Basin? Is that considered as one river basin only in Mindanao?
Your Honor, yes, the Mindanao River, home to over 4.5 million people, is the second largest river system and home to the largest wetland ecosystem in the country.
Very specific pala. Where is that located?
It runs through Region 10, Region 12, and BARM. Malaki ito, Your Honor, Mr. President.
River Basin. So kasama si Cagayan de Oro River dyan?
Hindi po,
Hindi, no?
Region 10, Cotabato area.
Yeah, Region 10 is our
Yeah, Region 10, Cagayan de Oro.
No, can we
Kasama
get,
pala.
that's why I want to understand so is that funding for different river basins or we consider them all as one river basin and we call it the Mindanao River Basin?
This is an ongoing program studying the river basin systems in the Mindanao, and this is already our third year, Mr. President, Your Honor.
Okay.
So, separate po yung
Sige.
pag-aaral sa mga
Ilang river basins po yan?
8 river basins,
8
Mr.
river
President.
basins.
Your
Thank
Honor.
you.
8.
Thank you, Mr. President. And then, I just noticed the increase in the representation expenses. So, ibig sabihin, magiging aktibo siguro itong Minda to host some foreign guests, foreign delegates from BIMP Iaga. I think that's my conclusion.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, sige. Alam ko. Tama po ba? That's the reason why? That's the reason why we're...
That's one of the reasons, Your Honor.
Okay. So, aktibo na tayo sa BIMP Iaga hosting them. And then what is the ending? What is the end result that we are anticipating?
We are strengthening the trade between BIM-IAGA member countries, Your Honor. In fact, we are going to have a senior ministerial meeting within the month, Your Honor.
Doon, it's going to be held in Mindanao.
This year in Malaysia and next year in Mindanao.
Okay, correct.
Tayo ang mag-host.
Yes, ang gusto ko lang palabasin, when we are hosting, we do not do it in Metro Manila. We do it there in Mindanao.
Correct,
Okay,
Your Honor.
Maganda po yun. Meron sa news kasi that Japan is going to help us replicate their resiliency center. Can Mr. Magno tell us more about this? Disaster prevention systems of Japan. Do you want to bring it here?
Yes, Your Honor, Mr. President, sa Mindanao lang po ang wala pang ganong klaseng disaster resiliency and resource center. Meron na daw dito sa Luzon, meron sa Visayas, sa Mindanao na lang wala. So, with the help of Japan, we can develop
So what is that? What is that? A building, a structure with computer systems? Ganun pa ba? Monitors? Ganun?
Yes, Your Honor. Yun po ang nakalagay sa plano. Building with computer systems. That is why late tayo nakapag-develop sa Mindanao dahil very rare lang kasi mangyari yung kalamidad sa Mindanao. Always, most of the time, ang tinatamaan, Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao was formerly safe from all these calamities. But right now, Mindanao is starting to get hit by this calamity. So, we have to adjust.
Saan po manggaling ang funding? Kasali na sa 2025? Wala pa.
Yes, Mr. President, meron silang proposal for budget for next year. For next year, but all others, maybe source from other agencies. Magpapatulos na sa OCD, magsasabit sila ng... Nagsabit sila, Your Honor, Mr. President, pero luckily hindi sinama sa NEP.
Sa NEP.
Hindi
So,
nasama.
what is the ballpark figure for this? This particular, lang, ito pinag-usapan natin, yung plano nyo for a Mindanao Disaster and Resiliency Center.
It's around 1.5 billion spread in 3 years, Your Honor.
So, hindi siya na-accommodate even by our committee report.
No, Your
Sige
Honor.
po. Thank you. Thank you for that. And then ito pong isa, at least alam natin yun. Ano? Itong isa, you're also making the announcement that 19 out of the 69 DOTR infrastructure flagship projects will be implemented in Mindanao with a budget of 748 billion pesos. Did you make this announcement? Billion? Is this billion?
Yes, Your Honor. It was announced by the DOTR.
Yes, but are you monitoring? Dapat Minda should monitor now the budget of DOTR kasi ang nangyayari na number one, si DOTR, ang malaki ang inihingi, hindi nakasali sa NEP. Tapos nasali na sa NEP, binabawasan pa. So now, yung itsura ng committee report namin on DOTR, paano naapektuhan ngayon yung 19 na sinabi ninyong kasama sa DOTR flagship infrastructure projects? You should monitor that. Kung hindi kayo ready ngayon, I understand. But just a word of advice, you monitor it kasi nga, sino ba nag-defend ng DOTR? I think ito si Senator JB. So he remembers we described the budget of the DOTR like a roller coaster. Pag ganun-ganon. So, Mr. President.
Yeah, but before Senator JB interjects, Your Honor, I would like to inform the body that last month, nagkakaroon na ng pirmahan, memorandum of agreement or understanding between Minda and DOTR na kasama na ang Minda sa monitoring team ng mga flagship projects ng Mindanao, Your Honor.
With the permission of Senators De La Rosa and Pimentel, Senator JV is recognized for a brief manifestation.
Thank you, Mr. President. In line with the Minority Leader's point, being the one who defended the DOTR, my concern, Mr. President, is that a lot of the priority projects na push down, no, from the program to the unprogrammed funds, and one of which is the Mindanao Railway System, which although it is presently on hold, but my concern is that this is approved by NEDA, and I'm sure that this will somehow push through. No? But the prerequisites, the preparation, and a lot of things has to be done at present. So I'd like to ask the Mindanao Development Authority if they would support, or what's the position if this would still remain, the Mindanao Railway System would still remain as one of the flagship projects of our government and administration.
Yes, Your Honor. Their position is to the affirmative.
Thank you. That's all, Mr. President and the Minority Leader. I hope that we can put some budget, no, for the preparation and the prerequisites in preparation for the loan agreement or the ODA in the future.
Thank you, Senator Ejercito. Senators De La Rosa and Pimentel once again have the floor.
Yes, the chairman mentioned that Minda is now part of the monitoring. Pero yun na sinasabi ko, yung excitement ninyo ba? I mean, the Minda excitedly announced nga that 19 out of the 69 DOTR infrastructure flagship projects will be implemented in Mindanao. So, advice ko lang nga. Example, sinabi ninyo, the new airport for Zamboanga. Sama, oh. Ngayon, tignan natin ngayon yung kung is it one of the, can LBRMO help us? Oh, is the new airport for Zamboanga one of the projects transferred to push down to program?
Your Honor, please give us a little
Yes, ganun lang.
time. We have to
Pero ganun lang yung
confirm.
ganun yung ano ko, direction ng questioning ko po. Opo. Sige lang po, basta tingnan lang po natin yan kasi kunyari ito. One of the 19, ito, i-confirm mo na to ng head ng Minda, is one of the 19 na nasa isip nyo is the Cagayan de Oro BRT project. So BRT means bus rapid transit or transport. Oh. So is that one of the 19? I don't think naka-funding yan. Wala yan sa bank.
Your Honor, would like to manifest that all these projects were announced by DOTR
Correct.
itself. Hindi
Correct.
po ang Minda nag-announce. Kaya
Yes.
getting the information from DOTR, inabsorb ng Minda, Your Honor. But unluckily, kung may mga project man dito na yung sinabi nating 19 na tinanggalan ng funding, ginawang unprogram yung kanilang funding, then that's beyond the control of the executive already, Your Honor. Kung dumaan na ito sa lower house, sa paglabas ng gab nila, ay gano'n nangyari.
Yes, in-inform ko lang ang Minda to also take a second look para alam niyo what you will say.
Thank you for that advice, Your Honor.
Kasi baka ma-hype eh. Baka ma-hype then we are all excited.
Ma-excite ang mga Mindanaoan.
We will all be excited about it
Yeah,
and then hindi
correct.
darating.
Tapos wala pala.
Opo.
Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Minda also, nasa news din, Minda also partnered with the Bangsamoro Planning and Development Authority, and you are supporting the DOTR in BARM's development in terms of land and air transportation. Kilala ko pa naman yung Minister for Transportation sa BARM, very close friend of mine. So, what role will Minda play?
Well, Your Honor, the role of Minda there is that it is included in the one of the monitoring agencies in the implementation of this project. So, BARM sits in the Minda board as one of its board members. Minda entered into memorandum of cooperation with the Bangsamoro Development and Planning Authority. Minda designated a focal person for the BARM and BPDA is provided with an office in Minda for their use in Mindanao. So, meron silang...
So si Minda accommodates the BARM in the overall planning of Minda. Okay.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
And BARM also accommodates Minda in their own planning.
In the BARM planning, merong Minda input? You can give your input sa BARM planning?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, that's good. Sige po. And then, I've been informed that Minda will be 15 years old in 2025. Tama po ba yun? 2010 ba nag-start? So, siguro, if you could request, I'm sure you have some publications on your achievements, on your upcoming projects and plans. Pakibigyan na lang po kaming lahat siguro so that we'll be more familiar with what's happening with Minda.
Yes, Your Honor.
Para kung binibigyan kayo ng chairman namin ng 67 million peso increase sa budget, supportive kami kasi
Yes.
well-informed tayo on what their achievements are. Thank you for that. Thank you to Minda. So let's go to the sige, Mindanao muna tayo. We have the SPDA with us, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor.
SPDA is a budgetary support. We're giving it a subsidy of 80 million pesos. Meaning to say, if SPDA has other sources of funds. May we know if that is correct, and what would be the amount of their other sources of funds which they intend to use in 2025, Mr. President?
Yes, we have other sources of income, but this not really sufficient for some of the income generated.
Yes, Your Honor. We have other sources of income, like the Marawi Resort. But unluckily, no income has yet been generated doon sa Marawi Resort because our members of our representative to the board was never appointed. And
We cannot assert
And-
because the charter of Marawi Resort says the chairman of the board will be elected by the board. So without the board appointed, I cannot be appointed to see.
yeah, because the charter of the board says that the chairman of the board shall be appointed from among the members of the board, and ngayon wala tayong representante doon, so wala tayong control sa board, Your Honor. Hindi na-appoint.
Yes. Kaya kinaklaro ko lang. Kung ano yung ibibigay sa GA, yun lang yun. That is now the totality of the funds at the disposal of SPDA. Yun. Mr. Chairman. Yun. So theoretical lang.
Your Honor, we also have corporate funds
Okay.
Corporate funds.
Parang savings po yun.
No, from the sale of our property.
from the sale of our properties. For 2025, we have
Magkano?
68,984,000 plus the 80 million subsidy funds.
Okay, so at least alam natin na SPDA will be operating on a 149 million budget for next year.
Yes, Your Honor.
Pero yung corporate funds mo ba, nandyan na or is that a projection? To be earned or hawak na natin?
For collection, Mr. President.
For collection.
For collection.
But basically, you'll be able to collect that amount, yung projected amount na yun. What is the
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige po. Sige po. So, pero okay, is SPDA still asking for something else? Do you have a wish list while we're still at the interpellation stage? Or
Yes, Your Honor.
or kasya-kasya na yung 149 million, happy na kayo doon?
Marami po, Your Honor. Kung tutuusin, ang wishlist namin dito is umabot ng 1.3 billion.
Okay. Sige, I'm sure the chairman went over the wish list before finalizing the subcommittee report.
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige pa. At isa po, pero natutuwa po ako, Mr. Chairman, itong SPDA, meron siyang project na establishment of an abaca production processing plant as well as marketing the abaca products. Meron siya. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
We signed an agreement with former agrarian reform cooperatives.
We signed an agreement with the former agrarian reform beneficiaries in Basilan.
correct. And they're producing abaca kasi I sounded the alarm or the concern for the abaca farmers when our BSP shifted from our banknotes, 1,000 peso notes from abaca, cotton with abaca or cloth, paper with cotton and abaca to polymer, basically plastic. So sabi ko, maapektuhan ng ating mga abaca farmers. And we are glad that SPDA, tinatrato nating isang maliit na government body, agency, They're helping our abaca farmers, Mr. President.
Yes, Mr. President, Your Honor, it's 100 hectare
Yes, 100 hectare.
abaca plantation.
So congratulations to SPDA.
And in fact, last weekend, Your Honor, I was their guest of honor in the inauguration of their poultry farm in my home province in Sulup, Davao del Sur. Napakalaki po yung project nila doon na poultry farm. So hindi po nasayang yung ating pundo na nilalagay sa kanilang GAA. They are really working hard to alleviate the living standards of the people in the mga tao sa laylayan, Your Honor.
Yes, tama po yun. Tama po yun. Actually, same with Minda. If I can ask for some publication from SPDA, and I'm sure you have a magazine-type publication announcing your projects.
Yes, Your Honor. We will be sending brochures to your office, Your Honor.
Yes, they have a fish pond estate project. Maganda. May pinya fiber project.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unfortunately, hindi na nila tinutuloy sa 2025. Wala nang laman. So, kung malaman ito ni Senator Loren, baka and Senator Nancy, they will put funding in your pinya fiber production project.
Nagkaroon lang ng parang delay sa implementation because the market was supposedly in Ukraine. Ang market ng bumili. Pero because of the war in Ukraine, so parang na-standby.
Nagkaroon lang, Your Honor, ng problema dahil sa war in Ukraine. Dahil yung ating buyer is based in Ukraine. Nung nagkagira sa Ukraine, yun. But still, we will continue on that project, Your Honor.
There must be a way kasi merong other government bodies already focusing on fiber and also on pinya fiber. So there must be a way na saluin yung lost market siguro nito, Mr. President.
Yes, Your Honor. We have gotten in touch with the Phil Fiber.
Yun, tama.
Yeah.
Tama. Yun ba yung PIFIDA?
Philippine Fiber
Yes,
Development Authority.
Yung kagabi yun. The head was interpellated last night.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, tama po yun. Okay, yun po yun. And then one more commendation because this is what I got information. Si SPDA is also helping the administration's pambansang pabahay para sa Pilipino, yung controversial 4PH program naman ng at least tinutulungan ng SPDA by making available one of your properties for that project. So,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay. So, although hindi na alam ni administrator ito na medyo, siyempre, inano namin na anong tawag mo doon? Sinubject namin to to intense examination yung 4PH, but you are helping making it a success, no, as far as from the point of view of the proponent. So binenta niyo yung property niyo or did you
In fact, Your Honor, SPDA properties with informal settlers to be offered to the present occupants for acquisition, ownership in coordination with DSUD. So, yun po, Your Honor. Ganun po kabait ang SPDA. Bininta diretso doon sa mga informal settlers currently occupying the said piece of land.
Because we believe that
Okay, so
So that no Filipino should be a squatter in our own country.
so yan po yung preferred na way of giving housing to our marginalized brethren, community mortgage program. Hindi siguro good. Mabuti kung ganyan ang gawin, hindi yung controversial condominium type.
Hindi po, Your Honor.
Good. So most likely ganun nga ang gagawin. So I commend the SPDA and just request for the
Sure.
for the publication. Yes. Can we now go to the Thank you, sir.
Thank you,
Can
sir.
we now go to the National Amnesty Commission?
Yes, Your
Very
Honor.
modest naman itong ating budget na binibigay, but I think our committee report is our committee is also helping the commission by giving them an increase of 30 million.
Yes, Your Honor.
What is the purpose, sir?
For the establishment of additional 10 local amnesty boards in the different regions of the country, Your Honor.
Actually, Mr. President, I appreciate how the NAC is presenting its budget. Maganda. They are also representing it or presenting their budget through key result areas approach. Maganda po ito.
Yes,
Kasi we
Your
can
Honor.
really by next year, masusukat mo yung kung worth it yung binigay, kung nabigay yung mga results na expected with the amount that we give them.
Yes, Your Honor.
Unfortunately, Mr. President, Mr. Chairman, I got a message that they have a wish list, but I cannot find it anywhere that they are requesting for an additional amount.
Meron ka?
Meron po ba sa records po ninyo?
Yes, Your Honor. We have a wish list totaling to 349 million pesos broken down as follows. 60 million for creation of and operation of additional 12 local amnesty boards, including Bohol and Mimaropa. 259 million for additional 246 positions. 10 million for community engagement expenses and 1.52 million for digitalized system for National Amnesty Commission on Amnesty. And meron pang 2 million for implementation of NAC Learning and Development Plan, Training Plan, 11 million for information campaign, 10 million for processing and issuance of amnesty, 7 million for procurement of information and communication technology, ICT. So that's the wish list, Your Honor, amounting to 349,607,000.
Okay, thank you for that. We just make that of record, and then I do not know, the chairman will, kasi ano ba to, paramihan ba ng boards ito, just to make it convenient?
Yes, Your Honor,
For
to make
the
it
appli- for the
accessible
applicant.
to all
Accessible, yeah,
the
accessible.
rebels, Your Honor. The more local amnesty boards we have, the more chances for them to apply, to avail of the amnesty program, Your Honor.
Sige po, so that's the reason why, no? Na,
Because we are expecting, Your Honor, ito yung expectation natin, with the 2-year lifespan of the commission, we are expecting around 40,000 decommissioned combatants from MLF, 2,000 from MNLF, 1,200 from RPA, ABB, and 39,000 plus surrenderies from CPP, NPA, NDF.
yes, so ginawa na, sila yung beneficiaries, we need to reach out to them. So, sige, we'll get our lead from the chairman. Paano ba yan? Kasi 2 years lang dito. 2 years lang ang lifespan.
2 years application lang pala, sir. But the commission will stay. Will stay. 2 years application of this program.
Yeah, oh yes, pero ano yan, may value pa rin yung 2 years. Meaning to say, after the 2 years, we need not maintain the boards. The local amnesty board, tama? We still maintain
We will
them?
still maintain.
Okay.
To process the applications.
Correct,
Continued pa
correct.
rin yung kanilang existence.
Okay, the board and then pataas ba to the commission? Sige po. So thank you for that. The better we understand the workings of the commission, the more we appreciate the request for additional budget. Let's now go to the Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation, and Unity. If we look at the budget, parang malaki kasi 7 billion. But when I look at the components, 5 billion doon is an infrastructure project. So that's the Pamana. Can we get more information about Pamana? Over the years, magkano na po ba ang binudget natin sa Pamana? And then ilan na po ang beneficiaries or LGUs or communities na nabigyan po natin ng Pamana? Pamana is an infrastructure project. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Hindi po siya dole out or giveaway or loan or grant, no? It's a infrastructure. Sige po.
Yes, Your Honor. We have, it covers 13 regions, 31 provinces, and 88 municipalities. For Luzon, we allocate 1 billion. For Visayas, 1.2 billion. And for Mindanao, 2.7 billion worth of Pamana projects.
Every year po to.
Yes, Your Honor.
And the level is around 5 billion every year.
No. Sandro.
This is not the NPFL account.
Every year, Your Honor, pero nagbabari po yung halaga. Uh, 2024, nag-start yung 5 billion level, 5.26 B. 2025, naging 526 billion. Pero previous to that, year 2023, 260 million lang. 2022, 390 million. And 2021, zero.
Okay.
So, yun pang history ng pamana
Yes, okay,
program.
good. So bumuhos tayo for this year. Okay, so what's our accomplishment report or achievement report for this year so far?
We were able to, our rate of disbursement is 90.15%, Your Honor.
90% as
90%.
of today. So
Yes.
November na. Okay, so ano pong itsura nito mga to ng projects natin? At ano pong recipients?
The project types, Your Honor, are the following. We have social protection projects, roads and bridges, water supply systems,
so
flood control system,
Same.
evacuation center, fish port.
Yes.
And the recipients are combatants and their families, Your Honor.
So you are like the do you do the construction yourself or you bid it out or you let the DPWH do it?
DPWH and LGU, Your Honor.
Will do it.
Will do it.
You're just a manager of the funds. You identify the beneficiaries. You
Yes,
have-
Your Honor.
And you have a sinking fund to the tune of 5 billion pesos. Okay. Kasi ang special yung beneficiaries natin dito. Okay. How would you differentiate this project to the Barangay Development Fund under the concept of NTF-LCAC? Kasama din po naman yung mga communist rebels dito sa coverage ng OPA-PRU eh.
Your Honor,
Magkano yun?
itong pamana program is we concentrate on the municipalities and the provinces, and while the NTF-LCAC concentrate on the barangays.
Okay.
And yung NTF-LCAC covers only for the combatants of the CPP, NP, NDF or barangay affected by the CPP, NP, NDF, while
Yes.
itong pamana covers everything. MNLF, MILF,
Correct.
and CPP, NP, NDF.
Correct. And the NTF-LCAC is managed by what government agency, if our secretary knows?
LGU. It's a LGU, Your Honor.
DILG,
NSA and DILG.
NSA and DILG. Okay. Pero,
With the permission of Senator Pimentel, may the chair inquire from the sponsor? So, I understand the origins of Pamana as opposed to the BDP, but so meron na tayong block grant, meron pa tayong SDP, principally para sa Bangsamoro, at ang pinakamalaking portion ng Pamana sa Bangsamoro pa rin?
More on the, right now, more on the NPA, Your Honor.
I heard
Especially in
you.
Caraga areas.
I
Caraga
heard you
area.
make mention earlier. So, mas NPA na to, hindi na to hindi na to MILF? Because BDP is also with respect to influenced barangays. In fact, BDP was bigger. It was at 22 billion before it was reduced to about 5. So, tama si Senator Pimentel, parang overlapping yung programa sa ngayon. How would you distinguish it?
Your Honor, the differentiation runs this way. Barangay development projects under the NTF-LCAC focuses on the barangay itself, while the Pamana program, Pamana projects, is concentrating on the municipal level and the provincial level.
Sir, how much is an average project of Pamana in the municipal level? How much?
Around 50 million, Your Honor, 20 to 50 million.
A 20 million project, a 50 million project can only be implemented in one barangay in that municipality as well. Whether it's a flood control program, whether it's a road, an evacuation center, it would apply to only, it would be implemented in one barangay as well. But I won't belabor the point, Minority Leader. Just to clarify further,
Yes,
who bids out the project? Sino po nag-bid out ng project? Sino nag-implement ng project?
Normally, it's DPWH and the LGU, Your Honor.
It cannot be both. It should only be one. Who bids out the project?
DPWH?
Certain amount?
100 million and
Yes.
above, it has to be implemented by DPWH.
And
While
is-
below, it has to be implemented by
By
the
the
local LGU.
And is this bottoms-up budgeting like the BDP? Ibig sabihin, nag-identify po na ba ng project yung munisipyo? O kayo po nag-identify ng project?
It's the municipalities and the provinces are the ones identifying these projects, Your Honor.
Are they the ones doing the program of work as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
What if it's going to be implemented by DPWH? Who does the program? It's still the LGU?
It's DPWH, Your Honor.
Thank you, Your Honor. Pardon the intervention, Minority Leader. You may proceed, sir.
Thank you for pursuing the subject matter, Mr. President. Kasi para lang alam din natin lahat, we're conscious no na the difference might be more in form. Nasasabihin nyo lang province and municipality, tas yung isa barangay. But basically, the spirit of the program, the objective, are the same. Basically, kasi and Pamana has 5 billion pesos while NTF LCAC, the Barangay Development Program, correct me if I'm wrong, our staff it has 7.8 billion pesos.
2.8 na lang daw, Your
Ilan?
Honor. 2.8. Kinat ng House.
Hindi,
So,
but what's our committee report?
2.8 still, Your Honor.
So, yan po. So, I think we, as a matter of policy, mag-isip na tayo. Kunyari, isuma total ko na yun, 5 plus 2.8, di 7.8. Baka nga ganun yung spirit nun. 7.8 si original sa NEP, tapos kita nila may 5B dito, binaba nila to 2.8B para suma total 7.8B. So, mag-isip tayo sa matter of policy, maganda yung proyekto to help our combatants, but not really personal, but you help their community para collectively maramdaman yung benepisyo. Whether at the barangay or the municipality or province level, ano pa rin yun, ang tinutulungan mo doon is the community na eh. So, tignan natin ang record. Sino yung mas magaling sa utilization at saka sa ano ba tawag mo doon? Yeah, more of utilization or obligation rate. Parang gano'n. Kasi pagkalam ko yung barangay development program, malaking problema noon, ang bagal. So, kung nakita na natin which is the more efficient agency for the same purpose, why not? Why not just give it to that particular agency na lang? Achieving the same results, hopefully.
Actually, Your Honor, they are being ranked, department's obligation rates from highest to lowest as of June 30, 2024. Luckily, Office of the Presidential Advisor on Peace, Reconciliation and Unity ranked number 1.
Congratulations to the OPAPRO.
Number 1, Your Honor.
Tama. Mukhang malaki yung budget nila pero 5 billion pala doon will go to Pamana and Pamana is practically fully utilized. Tama? 90% na siya with 1 month to go.
Correct, Your Honor.
So, yeah, but the list of projects under Pamana, pagdating sa infra, they look like the infra projects of the DPWH. Ganun more or less kasi we're really limited, no? Roads, bridges, water supply, flood control, evacuation center, fish ports, etc. Okay, ito po, sa news din po, you recently awarded educational assistance to children of the commissioned MILF combatants in Marawi City. Can you tell us more about this? Mga good news.
Yes, Your Honor. It's around 1,500 beneficiaries. And we're giving them 25,000 per semester, 50,000 per year. So, ganun po ang binibigyan natin. Only the families of the combatant.
Yes, yes. Hindi, you pay the school. Do you pay the school? Or you give the cash to the... You pay the school.
We give the cash to the school,
school,
Your
you
Honor,
pay the school.
particularly my school, Mindanao State University.
Because you have an educational assistance program? Tama po ba yan?
Yes, Your Honor.
Maganda po ito. Oh. Yes.
Including indigenous people, Your Honor. We are supporting 12 doctors.
Yes, thank you for that information. Pati sa housing, kayo ay nag-turn over ng 200 modified shelter units sa MNLF ex-militants and their families. Tamo, dapat ang DSUD, tingnan yung mga successful housing projects ng SPDA as well as the OPA-PRO. Mga single detached siguro to, modified shelter units. This is not in a condominium,
Yes. Single
Concept,
detached, Your Honor.
yes.
Dahil sa Muslim standards is that at least 3 bedrooms.
Yes,
Single
so yan.
detached.
Sana i-share ninyo sa DSUD yung mga projects na ganito, very successful, or sana may initiative si DSUD to learn from the other agencies ano yung mga successful housing projects ninyo. Although smaller in number kayo, but sila larger scale. But kung hindi na mag-work sa smaller scale, paano mag-work sa larger scale, Mr. President? So ito po yung mga good news natin sa OPA-PRO. I saw your wish list. I think you're asking for mga 3 billion pa ata more. So we'll just take our guidance from our chairman. And you're still asking for 2 billion more for Pamana. So ganun siya ka-desired na project, ganun siya ka-effective, no? That you...
Yes, Your Honor, that is earmarked for Cordillera because as of now, your Pamana projects in Cordillera is only around 500 to 600 million. So, kung madagdagan sana per our wish list, mas marami tayong may bigay doon sa Cordillera.
Pero why the sudden realization? Noong 2023, sinabi po ng chairman natin, 260 million lamang ang budget natin for Pamana. Bakit all of a sudden, parang 5 billion na Pamana, puro Pamana na tayo?
We've been requesting that every year, ever since, Your Honor, but talagang to no avail, hindi na bigyan ng pundo. So last year lang nabigyan
What happened
ng pundo
last year,
sa
Mr.
budget.
Chairman? What happened last year na naka-afford tayo we increased it by 4 plus billion pesos? Nakahanap tayo ng fiscal space?
Yes, Your Honor, it's through the help of Secretary Rasol of DBM. Amina Pagandaman. Amina Rasol. Amina Pagandaman of DBM and DPWH. Secretary of DPWH.
Sinabi, good. Okay. So, kasi nagbago focus eh.
Yes, sir.
260 million, 5 billion. So, ibig sabihin nun, it's now a flagship program of the OPA-PRO.
Yes, Your Honor.
So, congratulations to our OPA-PRO. Keep us informed of your achievements and your plans, Mr. President. Ngayon, Mr. President, the two other agencies would be drug-related agencies, no? Yung PDEA, ilan ang tao ng PDEA? Ang PDEA, how many are the personnel of PDEA as of the moment?
At the moment, Your Honor, the total personnel of PDEA is, the current strength is 3,299, Your Honor.
And Dangerous Drugs Board, ilan po ang kanyang manpower or personnel?
For DDB, 180 personnel, Your Honor.
180?
180.
180. Okay, so kaya ko po tinanong yan kasi si DDB ay policy and is that 180
Personnel.
Personnel level already the ideal for DDB? Yan na ba yun? When we wrote the law, ganyan lang ba kalaki yung ahensya na nasa isip namin?
We were smaller than Your Honor, but
Yes.
na-approve yung reorganization by 2017, kaya dumami tayo, umabot tayo ng 180.
Yes,
And
okay.
meron pang pending proposal for expansion.
Why?
Creation of project management office, Your Honor, because DDB is the lead agency in the Philippine Anti-Illegal Drugs Strategy.
Kaya nga, so
By virtue of EO 66.
hindi ba sila brain power? Why do they need such a large agency in terms of personnel, Mr. President? Di ba sila ang tagaplano and tagasulat ng polisiya at programa on drug prevention and control? Pero ang tagatugis would be PDEA.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, kaya nga.
Correct.
That's why dyan ako nag-umpisa eh. I mean, para maklaro. Then I'll ask PDEA pagdating sa manpower nila eh. When we wrote the law, ano naman yung ideal na nasa mind natin?
Yeah, Your Honor, per EO 66, DDB is the lead implementing agency of the Philippine Anti-Illegal Drugs Strategy.
Correct.
So aside from policy making, being a policy making body, they're also implementing this strategy.
Okay.
Yeah, but as far as the drug demand reduction strategy is concerned, yung programs na yan under that demand reduction strategy ay sila po ang nag-implement. Kasi yung PDEA is for law enforcement, more on the demand reduction strategy.
So si PDEA, pagdating sa penal provisions of our anti-illegal drugs laws, sila taga-enforce.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes. Si DDB would be also the policy, the plans, and then they implement their strategy as far as what issuing. They issue regulations.
Regulations.
Kung ano yung bawal or ano ba pati ba mga standards ng evidence sila din ba 'yon? Yung chain of custody ng evidence sila rin ba ang gumagawa ng regulations na 'yon?
Their implementation effort, Your Honor, is more limited on demand reduction strategies. Because this is not quite a law enforcement function.
Okay. So
Demand reduction.
educational approach
yeah,
doon nyo
rehabilitation, prevention, treatment.
rehab. But our rehab centers, are they operated by DDB?
It's
Or by
operated
DOH?
By DOH,
Yes, yun na
Your
eh.
Honor.
So, okay, example lang natin. For example, itong feedback sa chamber na ito mismo, na ang paggamit ng drug rehab centers natin, napaka-cumbersome because we need to resort to court orders.
Correct,
To
Your Honor.
commit somebody or
Yes.
even to release somebody who is already committed sa drug rehab center. Okay. Now that you know that feedback, is it your responsibility to try to fix the situation? Is it DDB or iniiwan ninyo sa legislature yan?
Yeah, Your Honor, DDB submitted a policy recommendation na ma-revisit yung particular provision of the law na yan. At in fact, we were able to hear it during the last Congress at the committee level. Yung pagtanggal ng provision, if you can remember, tanggalin yung provision na kailangan pa ng court order para ma-admit yung isang drug dependent or drug victim, drug dependent doon sa facility. Kasi nga, ang comment ng mga addict noon, sabi nila, offer kayo mga gobyerno, taga-gobyerno, offer kayo ng rehab dyan. Tapos ako mismo, nag-volunteer na ako na magpa-rehab. Ayaw niyo akong tanggapin dahil kailangan ko pang pumunta sa korte para kumuha ng court order. So discouraging po on the part of the drug dependent na hindi ma-avail kagad right away, kahit na voluntaryo. Kasi nag-iingat rin yung mga administrator, yung management ng mga drug rehab center na hindi sila
Correct.
makakasuhan.
Kaya nga,
Ayaw lang tanggapin without
Yes.
court order.
Tama. Ako nga, bigla ko nga na-realize yung reason why. Pero ang gusto ko sabihin, Mr. Chairman, Mr. President, did the DDB call the attention of legislators to this practice sa baba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes,
In fact,
okay.
during the last Congress, they proposed amendment to that RA 9165. And we heard it at the committee level,
Okay,
but luckily, hindi lang nag-progress.
Correct. So yan ang naramdam natin yung presence and then the vigilance and the proactive stance of the DDB. Ayan po. Pero doon pa sa release ni Senator Robin kanina na kunyari it's a cannabis extract like CBD. Sabi nyo, you cannot do anything about it because although it is just an annex to the law, didn't we delegate to the DDB ano ba yung administrative, the power to issue administrative issuances to so as to supplement the law, especially an annex to a law? Annex lang yun.
Your Honor, under Section 93 of the Republic Act 9165 or the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002 provides the legal framework for the regulation and control of dangerous drugs, including the authority to reclassify, add, or remove substances from the list of dangerous drugs based on their medical utility, potential for abuse, and the risk deposed to public health and safety. Provided, Your Honor, yung substance ay hindi yung kasama doon sa naka-annex doon sa RA 9165.
Okay.
That's the limitation of the Dangerous Drugs Board.
Meaning to say you can add to the annex, the DDB add to the annex, to the enumeration in the annex as banned, prohibited, or regulated or controlled substance. You can
Yes, Your
add.
Honor. Yes,
That's
Your
your
Honor.
interpretation of the law. You can add. You will issue a circular adding to the list.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. But you cannot
Remove.
issue a circular to remove from the list. Why
Yes,
is that
Your
the
Honor.
interpretation? Kunin niyo nga yung section.
Yeah, Your Honor, because when they reviewed the archives, the legislative archives, lumabas na yun ang intensyon na wisdom ng framers of RA 9165. Yung time na yan. Lumabas daw doon. Na they can add but they cannot remove without amending the law.
Ito, guys, na mag-participate ka.
With the permission of the gentleman who have the floor, what is the pleasure of Senator Padilla?
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo. For ano lang po ito, for clarificatory, ano lang po, Ginoong Pangulo.
The gentleman may proceed. You are recognized, sir.
Meron lang po kasi dito, sinasabi po ng ating sponsor na doon daw po sa batas, may annex. Saan po ba yun? Kasi kanina pa po namin re-review yung batas, kasi dito po sa batas malinaw na sinasabi na ang IDEA at ang DDB, sila yung pwede na silang mag-reclassify. At sila po yung bubuo ng magpo-promulgate sila, at sila po yung magre-reclassify, at sila po ang sasuggest, sila po ang magsasabi sa Kongreso doon po sa ginawa nilang aksyon. Pwede pong malaman sa kanila kung nasaan po yung annex, kasi kanina pa po kami naghahanap.
Your Honor,
Section 93, sorry po, Section 93, wala po talaga.
naka-annex siya na, Your Honor, 1988 United Nations Convention Against Illicit Traffic in Narcotic Drugs. 1961 United Nations Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs as amended by the 1972 Protocol. Number 22 po sa list na yun, yung annex na list na yun is cannabis and cannabis resin and extracts and tinctures of cannabis.
Gusto ko lamang pong linawin, Ginoong Pangulo, na wala po akong kontra. Ako po yung nakasuporta sa budget ng PIDEA at ng DDB. May mga nililinaw lang po akong mga issue. Katulad po nito, nagkasundo po kami na meron po kasing hindi magkasundo sa usapin sa batas at sa IRR. Pero nagkasundo po kami na lang ang nagkasundo na kami pong dalawa ay magtatrabaho para magkaroon na po ng kaliwanagan itong patungkol po sa medical cannabis. Sa matagal na panahon, ito po kasing medical cannabis, ito pong cannabis ay pinagbintangan at ginawang napakasama. Panahon pa ho yun, 1961 pa ho yun, 2024 na po. Gusto ko pong malaman ninyo, marami na pong mga bansa ang nagtatanim at nagpapalaki ng mga tinatawag nating marijuana. Opo, ano? At meron pong mga bansa dito na pinapayagan na po nila yung tinatawag na hemp. Diyan po sa Canada, sa China, sa France, sa USA. Ito po yung tinatawag natin na ginagamit po para po makapaggawa ng mga hemp concrete, hemp wool, fiberboard. Hindi po ito puro usapin ng hinihitit o kaadikan. Ito po ay industrial. Ginagamit na po ito. Kahit po ang Japan, meron na po siyang ganitong hemp industry. Ito po, Australia, meron na rin po siyang hemp industry. gusto lamang po nating liwanagin na hindi po porket sinabing marijuana, ito po ay lagi na lang usapin ng hinihitit. Luma na po yon, laos na po yon, iba na po ngayon, industry na po ito. At ang medical cannabis po ay isa ng ekonomiya. Kaya ako po ay nagpapasalamat sa DDB at dito po sa PIDEA sa kanila pong pagbubukas ng kanilang isip at tayo po ay makasunod na rin sa mga bansa po. Unang-una na po dyan, yung mga progresibong bansa na tumatanggap na po sa paggamit ng tama, ng hemp at ng medical cannabis. Yun lamang po, maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. Senator Pimentel is recognized for the continuation of his interjections. Senator Pimentel, you may proceed, sir.
Thank you, Mr. President. Nandun tayo sa DDB and its functions and its practices. Yun po ating ini-examine. So, and in the course of our interpellation, Section 93 of RA 9165 was mentioned. Which when read, actually, the impression that you get is parang may delegated authority talaga sa DDB to remove an item listed in the annex. Section 93. Ito ba yung binasa ng chairman natin? Section 93, reclassification, addition, or removal of any drug from the list of dangerous drugs. The board shall have the power to reclassify, add to, or remove from the list of dangerous drugs. Period. Ang board dito is the DDB. Correct?
Correct, Your Honor.
And then they're telling us that the interpretation of the DDB is they can add but they cannot remove.
Yes, Your Honor.
Tapos, habang nag-aaral...
Yeah, Your Honor.
Yes.
Your Honor, it says here, Section 93.
Yes, yun na.
The board shall also take into accord the obligations and commitments to international treaties, convention, and agreements to which the Philippines is a signatory. And the Philippines is a signatory to the 1961, which is, we consider this, we annex it as Annex B.
Right.
1961 United Nations Single Convention on Narcotic Drugs as amended by the 1972 Protocol. List of drugs included in Schedule 1. It says here, number 25, cannabis. Number 26, cannabis resin, extracts, and tinctures. So that's...
Yes, we were talking about the list of dangerous drugs, di ba?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mentioned din siya sa definition eh. Section 3J. Andun yata siya, okay.
Section 3J.
Sa definition of terms kasi sir, nakalagay din.
Kasi, Mr. President, ito na lang, just to, siguro nga, anyway, we are not going to resolve this issue sa budget hearing, but we are just probing into how the DDB thinks and functions. Ang treaty kasi, in my opinion, and the treaty provisions have the force and effect and the character of municipal law, domestic law. Para na siyang pinasa na batas. Ngayon, lalo na dito, in-incorporate pa natin siya sa isang batas at sinabi natin sa Section 3J na yung listahan na to, schedules na ito, are part of this act. Therefore, we can amend it because they're part of this act. Or, since we delegated to under Section 93, the power to add, or reclassify, add, or remove to the board the list of dangerous drugs, kung nakasama yung listed dun sa schedules, I think we also delegated the power to you to remove from the list, not from the treaty. You're not removing from the treaty. You're removing from the list. From the list that we annexed in our law to be treated as dangerous drugs. Ganun po sana kasi otherwise paulit-ulit yung phrase na reclassify, add or remove. Paulit-ulit as a power given to the board. So I don't know if you can pursue that kind of a reasoning. We are not asking you to amend the treaty, which you cannot do. Yes, but we incorporated the the schedules in the treaties are now defined as dangerous drugs. Hindi sila, ayun, linista ngayon sila. Now they're part of the law. So Congress may amend that list, and that's not tantamount to amending the treaty because we made them part of the act. But since Section 93, we delegated to you the power to reclassify, add, or remove from those lists attached as annex. Therefore, you have that power. That's how I understand now the how this could be interpreted. Do not worry, you are not amending the treaty. You're amending the act. The list of dangerous drugs mentioned in the act.
Yes, Your Honor. We perfectly understand
Yeah.
your
Okay.
explanation, and we will look into the process of
Yes,
doing this.
Kasi I think a couple of years ago, I think sa budget hearing, I also brought this to your attention. Naawa ko dun sa mga in good faith bumibili sa available sa market in other countries na CBD, which is a cannabis extract, di ba? Nasa listing yun eh. In good faith bumibili doon kasi available sa market yun, dinadala rito. And then I think I asked kung ilan ang incidents na may nahuhuli. So I think noon meron, but up to now, may nahuhuli pa ba?
Meron pa rin daw.
Meron pa rin nga,
Your
kaya nga
Honor.
medyo unfair sa kanila, although they're just implementing the law. But the point is, our law, ayaw nga natin itaga sa bato yun eh. Kaya nga, that's why nandun yung flexibility. So, it's either kasi sobrang lalim ng understanding ninyo sa cannabis extracts that you know something that the other countries, the Western European countries do not know, or they know something that you do not know. Or even though you know, your interpretation of the law is probably mistaken. Because ano yung flexibility? If you look at the law, ang purpose ng mga paulit-ulit na linalagay yung phrases na yun is for flexibility. Kasi po nagbabago eh. Science moves, our knowledge based on science also changes. I don't know, Mr. Chairman.
They will be
Yeah, okay. Pero meron,
acting on it accordingly, Your Honor.
but there's a procedure. So yung mga gusto rin look at the procedure. I mean, that's a petition, whatever. So gawin din po natin yan. Apo. So, PIDEA, being the implementing arm of the DDB as well as the law enforcer of our anti-drugs laws, yun ang pagkaintindi ko. Actually, ang pagkaintindi ko, inalis sa PNP. Bibigay talaga sa PIDEA. What is now the current, your current level is 3,299 personnel, manpower. Have you reached your ideal level as far as manpower is concerned? Nung sinusulat namin yung batas na ang in-envision ng policymaker ibigay sa PIDEA lahat ng law enforcement on anti-illegal drugs.
Well, we are far from our ideal personnel strength, Your Honor. Right now, yung mga tauhan natin sa PDI hanggang provincial level lang. Wala pa sa municipal level. So kung i-build up natin yung up to the municipal level, I think this is the ideal strength. We should have 19,704 personnel, Your Honor. So minus 3,000.
Yes.
So
3,200,
we
yes.
still need around 15,000 personnel, Your Honor.
Okay, kasi ang PIDEA is actually your PNP against illegal drugs. Ganun siya, lumalabas eh. So, opo. So, ang problema, Mr. Chairman, at abuti na lang, ang chairman natin is also former chief of PNP. Hindi yata binibitawan ng PNP yung concern or involvement nila sa anti-illegal drug operations because we still have the PIDEG.
Your Honor, actually, by operation of law, dapat binitawan na talaga ng PNP yan.
Kaya nga.
But then, PDEA mismo ang humingi ng suporta from PNP. That's why yung that is why PNP is always involved in the anti-drug operations because it is a known fact really that hindi kakayanin ng PDEA to conduct nationwide anti-drug operations.
pero ganito ba na envision natin pag ma-achieve na, let's say, ng PDEA ideal strength nila na lagyan na lang natin, i-round off na lang natin 20,000 strong, ang expectation natin, of course, plus budgetary support, no? Ang expectation natin, all anti-illegal drug law enforcement would be PDEA, exclusively PDEA now.
Yes, Your Honor,
That's the
ideally.
plan. Yes.
Ideally. But remember, if we look back in our history, prior to the assumption of President Duterte, 2016, the level of drug problem in the Philippines was so high. And you can just imagine, PDEA, we adopted a whole of nation approach. Andyan ang PDEA, which is 3,000 plus, o 2,000 pa at the time, 2,000
Yes,
plus.
may-
Tapos plus the PNP, during my time, we were about almost 200,000, 198,000. Plus NBI, plus Bureau of Customs and other law enforcement agencies. Nagtutulong-tulungan yan sa ating war on drugs. Plus the government units from barangay to the municipal level to the provincial level. Nagtutulungan yan lahat, pati mga barangay tanod. And still, look, anong nangyari sa ating war on drugs? Hanggang ngayon, nandiyan pa rin yung problema sa droga. Dahil nga, hindi kinaya the magnanimity. How do you call that? Anong term yan?
Magnitude.
Magnanimity. The magnitude of the problem itself, napakabigat po. Kaya, itong 19,000 na ideal, ay pwede siguro ito kung still, eventually, later on, masusulo na ng PDEA yung problema ng droga.
Correct.
Dandahan na mag-exit ang PNP. Pero ito nga, Your Honor, nakalagay dito sa the PNP still possess authority to conduct anti-illegal drug operation provided that the case shall eventually be transferred to the PDEA based on Supreme Court decisions in People of the Philippines versus Santa Maria, GR number 1710319, and People of the Philippines versus Rasamia Hernandez et al. Hence, PDEA deputation is no longer necessary or required for PNP personnel assigned with anti-drug units. So, meron pong Supreme Court...
Sa ngayon po yan. Sa ngayon.
ngayon.
Kaya nga, ang expectation nga natin, you're talking about PDEA ngayon, binabudgetan natin ng PDEA.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ang policy of the law is pag ma-achieve na natin yon, even with the ideal manpower requirement nila, they are the primary. Di ko sinasabing exclusive, primary, but of course, PNP will act, but only upon invitation or deputization of the PDEA.
Yes,
Tama
Your
po ba yun?
Correct, Your Honor.
So yun yung medyo malayo pa tayo ron.
Ideal.
Ngayon, baliktad pa halos, Sige po, opo. Ngayon, anyway, pagka mag-hearing na lang tayo ulit sa Duterte administration's war on illegal drugs, I hope we get the commitment of the PDEA chief and the Dangerous Drugs Board head to attend and
Yes, Your Honor.
give us information. Ako rin, ang aking expectation is you hold all the information about war on drugs. Dapat hawak niyo yun. If I give you cut-off dates, dapat alam din niyo anong hawak ninyo na figures, ilan ang casualty, ilan ang baby volume, volume of confiscation, etc. Dapat hawak ninyo yun. I hope hawak ninyo yun.
Yes, Your Honor.
Apo. Sige po, and then just another observation, Mr. President. Meron tayong ginagastos na Philippine Anti-Illegal Drug Strategy. Merong entry ito sa Dangerous Drugs Board, 115.9 million. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tama, no? More or less?
Yes.
Okay. Meron din ito sa PNP. 500. Is this 5? 546.2 million pesos. So kung makikita natin, katulad kanina, pinakita natin Pamana versus Barangay Development Program, dito rin, even sa anti-illegal drugs strategy, gumagastos din tayo ng daan-daang milyon sa dalawang ahensya. Ngayon, dapat mag-policy decision na tayo rito. Ibibigay ba natin sa spesyalista? Ang spesyalista rito is the Dangerous Drugs Board. Spesyalista or sa isang general organization, general purpose organization like the PNP. Unless the DDB head can tell us may difference ba?
Your Honor, DDB is the lead agency.
Correct.
But all other government agencies are mandated by law to institutionalize the PADS. So kasama na dyan yung PNP. Kaya meron silang pundo.
Pero mas malaki po just for information ng DDB. Mas malaki ang binigay na budget sa PNP for the PADS, Philippine Anti-Illegal Drug Strategy, 546.2 million. Sa inyo, 115.9 million. So sino ngayon ang premier agency?
The DDB, Your Honor, but sa implementation itong strategy na ito, this is a whole of government approach sa implementation. So PNP being the biggest agency, law enforcement agency of the land, naturalmente talaga na the bulk of the fund goes to the PNP dahil mas marami silang units involved sa anti-drug operations up to the municipal level, Your Honor. All other agencies, we have Department of Health, meron din silang pondo for PADS.
Sige,
Department of Interior and Local Government.
Meron kayo, do you have the amounts nila?
Yes, Your Honor.
Sige, pakibigay na lang listahan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Ba't PIDEA? Wala. Meron din.
Meron din, Your Honor.
Ano ba yung bakit? Sige po, we will just go over the list. So,
We will submit the list, Your Honor.
at any rate, ito lang, reminder sa PIDEA. I will never forget the experience natin dun sa mall sa Quezon City, where there was a shootout between PIDEA and PNP. I hope we have learned thousands of lessons there na hindi na ito mauulit. I was not there. I was traumatized through the news. But paano pa kaya yung mga ibang nandun na takbuhan sa mga CR doon, may buntis pa ata doon, nakita ko sa news. These people are traumatized. Government versus government. Ano nangyari yun? Ano nangyari doon? Ito, isa Cheba, sa kwento-kwento lang sa akin. Ang isa doon, ang isang ahensya ng gobyerno, by bust, ang point of view nila. Ang isang ahensya daw ng gobyerno, sell bust. May sell bust ba? So, yun ang tanong. So, kaya nag-inkwentro. Because one agency was undertaking a buy bust. One other agency was undertaking daw a sell bust. Kaya sila nagtagpo. Ngayon, from PIDEA na lang, meron na bang comprehensive report on why this happened? Has any agency investigated that particular incident and come up with a comprehensive report why that happened?
Well, Your Honor, as a result to that, that incident, nagkakaroon tayo ng joint memorandum circular between PNP, PDEA, and other law enforcement agencies to enhance the coordination mechanism between drug law enforcement units by providing clear-cut guidelines that will guide anti-drug units in the conduct of anti-illegal drug operation. It aims to eliminate misunderstanding, miscommunication, and misencounter between drug law enforcement units. All requests for certificate of coordination and other documentary requirements as mentioned for the conduct of anti-illegal drug operation shall be forwarded to and processed only at the PDEA Regional Operation Center. So, ito po yung resulta nun, Your Honor, that unfortunate incident.
Merong mga micro changes sa relationship. Pero before the time, may relationship na eh. Meron na supposed to be coordination yun eh. But still, it happens. So, I hope that the micro changes that we made will really prevent the happening again of such an incident.
Yes,
Siguro, DDB, magsalita na rin kayo. There's no such thing as a cell bust. Okay.
There's they call it reverse buy bust, Your Honor. Reverse buy bust.
Mr. President, I mean,
So, that's bawal.
marami
So that's bawal
tayo,
now.
tayo natatawa, pero I think marami yata namatay nung insidente na yun. I think not less than 5 ang namatay doon. Imagine. Government versus government. Mr. President. Well, at any rate, Mr. President, may phoned-in question lang kasi ako. One more topic. You need chemists eh, kasi who needs chemists? Is it the board or PIDEA? PIDEA, di ba? Also,
PIDEA, Your Honor.
You need chemists, may Magna Carta for chemists ata kayo. Just make sure that you observe it or implement it because yung rate daw ng attrition or resignation or anong tawag mo doon? The rate that chemists are leaving the agency mataas. So, you need your chemists because even yung law na binasa natin, may mga laboratories na binabanggit doon eh. So, take care of your chemist and I think you have sufficient equipment already. Balak nyo pa bang bumili pa ng more equipment? I mean, sana kung may pera kayo, invest in your people, especially your scientists, your chemists. Yun po suggestion ko na lang po, Mr. President.
Yes, I will take in, Your Honor, your advice to PDEA.
No, but kasama ba sa budget ng PIDEA is the purchase of more laboratory equipment? But are you purchasing the same equipment that you already have, Mr. President?
Yes, Your Honor. In fact, it's listed in number 5, capability enhancement of PDEA laboratories
Magkano po
nationwide.
yun? Magkano?
Capital outlay, Your Honor, it's 176.
176
Million.
million. Opo. Sige po, basta kung although CEO yun, CEO, hindi mo naman mapapataas yun, no? But invest in your people, especially your scientists and your chemists, your laboratory workers, Mr. President. Critical yata sila because otherwise, pagdating sa kaso-kaso, baka ma-dismissan din kayo ng kaso or acquitted because mismo yung material na confiscate, baka doon pa lang reasonable doubt na pagdating sa classification niya.
Correct, Your Honor.
Sige po.
Yung the issue on yung mabilis yung pag-alis ng mga chemists natin is that greener pastures are waiting for them outside. And we cannot just adjust our pay scale because of we're controlled by civil service.
Yun, precisely, ito lang Mr. President, for the information of everybody. Ang isang agency na naayos niya yung pagdating sa pay scale is DAR. Meron siyang ginawa, magpatulong na lang tayo kay Secretary Estrella. I don't know if you can take advantage of this concept na scrap and build down. That's what he did. Kasi ang parati nating na-encounter na hindi tayo maka-attract would be lawyers, ang baba daw. Psychiatrists, mababa. So, kung makita mo, pagdating sa mga psychiatrists, yun yung may mga science na. So, chemist, yun yung mga science field na po ito eh. Oh. And I'm sure doctors din siguro, hindi attractive ang mga pay scale. So, find out how DAR was able to do it. Lawyers ang naayos niya because problema nila titles eh. Land title. So, lawyers ang na-attract nila. Okay? They collapsed positions and then they produce a better paying one na tatanggapin na po ng mga professional, scientists.
Yes, Your Honor. One example cited by the Director of PDEA is that when a chemist is applying to the law enforcement community, ang pinakauna talaga niyang applyan is PNP. Because yung chemist sa PNP is salary grade 14. Sa PDEA, pagpapasok ka as chemist, salary grade 11 lang.
Okay.
So kung matanggap siya sa PNP, mawala na ang PDEA ng
Correct,
chemist. Pero hindi siya matanggap sa PNP, apply siya sa PDEA. Fullback position niya yung PDEA, but a lower pay grade, of grade 11, salary grade 11.
But I'm sure there must be a solution na ipantay na lang because PIDEA is the PNP for illegal drugs. Yep.
Yeah, we will make the necessary adjustments, Your Honor, and your recommendation, the DAR model.
Hindi ko alam yung sagot pero may nakasagot. Yun ang gusto kong sabihin.
Yes.
It's a whole of government approach, sabi ng chairman. Pa-advise tayo rin sa ibang ahensya ng gobyerno na naayos nila yung problema nilang ganyan.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you.
That you recognize. Senator Robin Hood Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pinunong mayorya. Ito po, gusto ko lang pong linawin kasi marami pong nagtatanong sa akin bilang ako po ang chairman ng komite ng cultural minorities. Nasa likod po ating sponsor ang representative ng NCIP. Marami pong mga katutubo ang naguguluhan kasi meron pong nilabas ang EO, ang Malacanang, na sinasabi po na ang NCIP ay nasa ilalim na ng Office of the President. Gusto ko lamang pong tanongin, kayo po ay nandito dahil sa budget lamang po, ano? Hindi naman po dahil kayo po ay naandyan pa rin sa DSWD.
Tama po. At sa susunod na hearing, wala na yung NCIP sa DSWD, kundi nasa Office of the President. Pero ngayon, palibasa kinapos ng panahon, narito para sa atin at bahagi pa sila ng budget ng DSWD.
Opo, yun lamang. Gusto lang po nating linawin sa mga kababayan natin, mga katutubo, dahil medyo naguluhan po sila kasi nasa likod niyo po sila. Kaya po, yun lang po, nilinaw lang po natin. So next year, na kayo po ay nasa likod na ng Office of the President. Okay, so maraming salamat po. Yun lamang
Tama.
po.
Thank you, Senator
Tama
Padilla.
po yun at huling panahon na, huling pagkakataon na sila ay kasama ng DSWD sa pagkaintindi ko.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. Senator Mark. Robin Hood Padilla is recognized.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa atin pong pinunong mayorya. Eksakto po, mahal na Pangulo, dahil ang pinag-uusapan po natin ay ang katatapos po nating pagbalangkas ng budget ng 2025 na isinagawa po ni Senadora Grace po. Ito pong akin pong patutunayan sa akin pong talumpati ay patungkol din po sa iminungkahi at iginawa ni Senador Grace po. Isang karangalan po para sa inyong lingkod ang tumayo sa bulwagang ito bilang tagapangulo ng Committee on Public Information and Mass Media at sponsor ng Committee Report number 368 na konsiderasyon ng mga bersyon ng mga People's Freedom of Information Act na inihain po ng ating mga iginagalang na kasamahan. Nandiyan po si Senadora Grace po, ang Senate Bill number 100, at kay Senador Joel Villanueva, ang Senate Bill number 933. Ginoong Pangulo, ako po'y bumabati kay Senador Joel Villanueva sapagkat kahapon lang po siya po ay binigyan ng pagkilala sa walang kapaguran na pagsusulong ng Freedom of Information Act. At siyempre po kay Senador Bong Revilla sa kanya pong Senate Bill number 1101 at kay Senadora Loren Ligarda, Senate Bill number 2321. Ginoong Pangulo, mahaba-haba na po ang pinagdaanan ng panukala ng Freedom of Information sa Pilipinas. 30 taon na po sa aking estima. Habang binabasa ko nga po ito, naiisip ko po na maaari na talaga itong magkaroon ng siling kabanata sa libro ng kasaysayan. Patid ko po na naihatid na po ito sa plenaryo ng dating tagapangulo ng komite, Senadora Grace po. Not once, but twice. Noong ika-16 na kongreso pa nga po ay pumasa na ito sa ikatlong pagbasa sa mismo luwagang ating tinutungtungan. Subalit, sa kasamaang palad po, ay nabinbin po ito sa Kamara. Marami rin po ang nagsusulong ng Freedom of Information sa ating mga kasamahan dito sa Senado, kahit noong sila po ay naglilingkod pa sa malaking kapulungan o sa Kamara. Noong 2016, sa pag-upo po ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, kagyat niyang ipinalabas ang Executive Order number 2 na mas kilala bilang Freedom of Information Program. Ang EO na ito ang unang nagpasimula ng programa sa Freedom of Information sa bansa na sumasaklaw sa mga tanggapan ng gobyerno sa ilalim ng executive branch. Makailang ulit rin pong ipinagdiinan ni PRRD ang kahalagahan ng pagtataguyod ng karapatan ng taong bayan na malaman ang mga gawain ng gobyerno, lalo't higit sa paggasta ng buwis ng mga mamamayan. Ginoong Pangulo, malinaw pa po sa sinag ng araw ang isinasaad ng ating konstitusyon sa ilalim ng Artikulo 3, Section 7. The right of the people to information on matters of public concern shall be recognized. Lalo pa po itong binigyan ng diin sa ilalim ng Seksyon 28, Artikulo 2 ng ating saligang batas na sumasambit na subject to reasonable conditions prescribed by law, the state adopts and implements a policy of full public disclosure of all its transactions involving public interest. Sa isang demokratikong pamayan, wala pong boss kundi ang taong bayan. At bilang tagapaglingkod ng bayan, tungkulin po nating tumugon sa mga tanong ng ating mga pinaglilingkuran. Sa panukalang batas po na ito, ang bawat Pilipino na humihingi ng impormasyon ay may karapatang mabigyan ng akses sa mga tanggapan ng pamahalaan. Ito ay magiging applicable po sa lahat ng executive, legislative, at judicial na tanggapan, constitutional offices, lokal na pamahalaan, state universities and colleges, government-owned or controlled corporations, at iba pang instrumentalidad ng pamahalaan. Ginoong Pangulo, may mga magsasabi po dyan na paano naman ang sensitibong impormasyon na hindi for public consumption. Hindi po sila dapat mangamba. Sapagkat sa Section 7 ng atin pong panukalang batas, ang listahan ng mga exceptions. Kabilang po dito ang mga impormasyong may kinalaman sa ating pambansang seguridad at depensa, diplomatic safety, mga impormasyong nakatala sa executive session ng 2 kapulungan ng Kongreso, trade secrets, gayon din po ang mga sumasailalim sa bisa ng presidential privilege. Tumatalima din po ang panukalang batas na ito sa sinasaad ng ating saligang batas sa Seksyon 17, Artikulo 11, na ang isang pinuno o ang kawaning pambayan ay dapat magsumite ng pinanumpaang deklarasyon ng kanyang mga ari-arian, pananagutan at nitong kabuuan ng ari-arian o Statement of Assets, Liabilities, and Net Worth, SALN. Makakasama po ba sa ilalathala ang mga personal na impormasyon sa SALN tulad ng address, mga detalye ng mga dependents, pirma ng kawani ng pamahalaan at mga kopya ng ating IDs? Ang sagot po, Ginoong Pangulo, ay hindi. Sapagkat kabilang rin po sa konsiderasyon sa pagbabalangkas ng panungkalang ito ang layunin ng Republic Act 10173 o ang Data Privacy Act of 2000. Nangangalaga po sa ating right to privacy. Nais ko na rin pong banggitin na binibigyan diin ng panukalang batas na ito ang Republic Act 9485 o ang Anti-Red Tape Act of 2007 na naglalayong mapabilis po ang serbisyo ng gobyerno. Ginoong Pangulo, hangad rin po natin magkaroon toong transparency at accountability pagdating sa koleksyon at paggasta ng mga ahensya at lokal na pamahalaan ng pondo ng bayan upang makatulong sa ating laban sa lumalalang sistema ng korupsyon. Kabilang sa mga hinahangad ng panukala, malathala ang mga kontrata, bidding documents, mga lisensya at permit na iginawad mga pribadong kontratista. Isang napakagandang hakbangin po nito kung tunay at tapat ang ating intensyon sa tamang paggastos ng pera ng bayan. Hindi lamang nito mahadlangan ang mga modus sa pagbubulsa ng pera ng bayan. Mas mapapaigting rin po nito ang pananagutan ng mga opisyal ng pamahalaan. Pangulo, ikinalulugod ko rin pong ibahagi na may probisyon sa ating FOI bill patungkol sa paghikayat sa mga ahensya na gumamit po ng payak na wika sa pamamagitan ng paggamit ng wikang Pilipino sa mga impormasyong ilalabas. Alinsunod po ulit, ito ang sinasaad ng ating saligang batas na dapat magsagawa ng mga hakbangin ang pamahalaan upang ibunsod at puspusang itaguyod ang paggamit ng Pilipino bilang medium na opisyal na komunikasyon. Yan po ay nasa Seksyon 7, Artikulo 14. Mahalagang provision po ito sapagkat nawawalan ng saysay ang access sa mga impormasyon na aking binabanggit kung hindi naman po ito lubos na maiintindihan ni Juan at ni Juana de la Cruz. Upang magkaroon naman po ng ngipin ng ating batas, naging partikular na rin po tayo sa mga administrative offenses, gayon din sa mga karampatang parusa sa mga lalabag sa sinasaad ng ating FOI bill. Meron din pong provision sa sistema ng incentives at rewards upang mabigyan naman natin ng tamang pagkilala ang mga ahensya o lokal na pamahalaan na nakikiisa at sumusunod po sa mga panuntunan ng Freedom of Information. Kung ito po ay may sa batas, umaasa rin po ako na ito ay magiging tulay sa pagpapalakas ng ating komite dito po sa Senado, ang pampublikong impormasyon at mass media. Sapagkat isa po ito sa mga hamon rin na madalas nating naririnig tuwing tayo ay nagsasagawa ng pagdinig sa ating komite. Ang kawalan ng access ng taong bayan sa mga impormasyon sa mga karapatan po nila. May kalungkutan po, hindi po madalas nalalaman ng ating mga kababayan kung ano po ang mga batas na ating naipapasa at hindi po nila alam kung ano ang kanilang mga karapatan. Ginoong Pangulo, naniniwala po ako na ang pagpapasa ng Freedom of Information Act ay hakbang sa tamang landas. Tama po ang ating iginagalang na Senadora Grace po. Ito po ay obligasyon natin sa bawat Pilipino. Napapanahon na upang tupdin natin ang ating pangako sa ating mga kababayan tungo sa tapat at mabuting pamamahala. Alam niyo po, maikwento ko lamang, ito pong committee report na ito sa akin pong magtatatlong taon dito sa Senado, ito po ang pinakamabilis. Ito po ang pinakamabilis na punta dito sa plenaryo. Ibig sabihin lamang po na lahat tayo dito ay sumusuporta dito sa FOI. Nawa po ay sama-sama tayong tumindig para sa kalayaan sa impormasyon, hindi bilang pribilehiyo ng ilang-ilan lamang, kundi bilang bahagi ng karapatan ng bawat Pilipino. Hangad ko po na maging bahagi ito ng ating legasiya ngayong ika-19 na Kongreso. Maraming salamat po.
Senator Padilla is recognized. You may proceed, sir. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po, Ginoong Pangulo, at sa ating pong pinunong mayorya. Ako po ay nakikiisa sa pagtindig ng mga kapita-pitagang miyembro ng bulwagang ito para sa Senate Resolution number 1223 na inihain po ng Pangulo ng Senado, Senador Chis Escudero. Ang resolusyon po na ito nagbibigay pugay sa dating Pangulo ng Senado, Juan Ponce Enrile, para sa kanyang hindi matatawarang serbisyo at kontribusyon sa bansa at buong sambayanang. Mga kapanalig, narinig ko po napakagandang mga karanasan at mga alaala na iginawa ng ating ginagalang Juan Ponce Enrile. Sa akin pong naratibo, ako po, nung bago po ako dito sa Senado, ang una ko pong panukala ay bigyan ng pagkilala ang mga taong lumaban sa komunista. At yan po ay isinulong ko at ito po ay nadinig din namin sa aming komite, pero hindi po ito nagkaroon ng magandang progreso. Gusto ko lamang pong ipaalala muli sa mga kabataang Pilipino na kung hindi po dahil sa pag-iisip ni Juan Ponce Enrile, maaring tayo po ay matagal nang nasa ilalim ng komunista. Siya po ay lumaban kasama ang dating Pangulo Ferdinand Marcos Sr. upang labanan po ang paglaganap ng komunismo. Yan po, nung panahon na yan, ay laganap sa Vietnam, sa Indonesia, Malaysia, hanggang ngayon po ay sa ibang bansa pa rin ng ASEAN. Kaya po, mga mahal kong kababayan, ang pagkilala po nito sa isang taong naglalakad, isang buhay na library, isang buhay na libro ng kasaysayan. Kaya hinihingi ko po sa ating mga kabataan na huwag niyo pong sayangin ng pagkakataon, kayo po ay makinig, magbasa, at sa mga sinasabi po ng ating ginagalang na Sir Juan Ponce Enrile, sapagkat siya po ay man of wisdom. Ang kanyang pong karanasan sa politika ay marami po tayong matutunig po tayo sa kanya. Yun lamang po, sa interes po ng oras ay hindi ko na po hahabaan pa ang aking talumpati. Sapat na po ang ating pagtindig upang magbigay pugay sa tunay na alamat at kayamanan ng ating bansa. Mabuhay po kayo, Sir Juan Ponce Enrile. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Senator Padilla. Majority Floor Leader.
Next to deliver a co-sponsorship speech is none other than Senator Bong Revilla. I move that he be recognized.
Senator Revilla is recognized to deliver his co-sponsorship speech. You are recognized, sir, and you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, we join this body in honoring former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile in the role played in shaping our country. Kasaysayan po ang saksi sa alamat na si JPE. The lines across his face tell the stories he has witnessed and taken part in. Tila nga po parang puno na kung hihimayin ng bawat linya ay maisasalaysay kung paano sa maraming pagkakataon mula sa kanyang tindigan ay sumibol ang mga binhi na siya namang tinatamasa pa rin mapasa hanggang ngayon. Sa loob ng 100 taon, habang pinapanday ng tadhana ang kanyang pagkatao, inuukit naman niya ang kanyang mga kontribusyon sa ating lipunan. Kinikilala at pinapasalamatan natin lahat ng naiambag niya sa ating sintang bayan. His sharp mind and astute character as part and parcel of his stellar journey. 100 years on, and the gift that this legend is just keeps on giving. Walang maliw, walang sawa sa paninilbihan sa bayan. Mapalad po ang nooy isang baguhang senador na si Bong Revilla na makatrabaho ang isang JPE. Isang tao na dekada na ang napatunayan sa larangan ng paglilingkod bayan mula 13th Congress hanggang 16th Congress. Magkasama kami ni Manong Johnny at talagang masasabi kong kada araw na lumipas sa aming mga session noon, may bago at bago kang matututunan. I am one of the honored few to be able to call him my Senate President. The lessons he imparted to me form a great part of this kind of public service I am today. I am proud to consider myself his student, for I have learned many things from him in serving this great country. JPE, Manong Johnny, you are as legendary as your brilliant mind. The lesson of your life will always be etched in our nation's history. Manong Johnny, maraming salamat po. Mabuhay ka.
Thank you, Senator Revilla. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, last to deliver a co-sponsorship speech is Senator Jingoy Estrada.
Our Senate President Pro Tem, Jingoy Estrada, is recognized to deliver his co-sponsorship remarks. You may proceed, sir.
My dear colleagues, today we gather to honor a man whose name is permanently etched in the history of the Philippines. Someone whose wisdom, resilience, and contributions to our nation have established him as a monumental figure in public service. It is with great pride and deep gratitude that I stand before you to celebrate the legacy of my mentor, a statesman par excellence, the one and only Juan Ponce Enrile. His storied career, spanning over half a century, is a testament to his unparalleled dedication to the Filipino people. His widely recognized initials, JPE, stands for more than just a name. To me, they signify three defining qualities. J, as in judicious lawmaking, P, as in professional excellence, and E, as in enduring legacy. My father, former President Joseph Estrada, once said, Juan Ponce Enrile is a tough act to follow. And he truly is. Few can match his extensive experience, sharp intellect, and significant contributions to our nation. His remarkable career in public service over the past 50 years showcases his courage, wisdom, and dedication to the Filipino people. During our time together in this August chamber, I was the Senate President Pro Temp during his tenure as Senate President from 2008 until 2013. I have personally witnessed his tireless work ethic and his sharp legal mind at play. Whether debating on the floor, crafting laws, or leading in times of crisis, his presence has always been a source of strength and inspiration. Hindi rin po matatawaran ang ipinamalas na pamumuno ni Manong Johnny sa impeachment trial ni dating Chief Justice Renato Corona. In Senate Resolution number 18, based on a privileged speech that I delivered in this August chamber in May 30, 2012, we commended his resolute, diligent, impartial, and just leadership as presiding officer of the Senate, sitting as an impeachment court in the matter of the impeachment trial of the Chief Justice of the Supreme Court. Sabi nga ng aking ama, Chief Justice Corona is very fortunate than me because the presiding officer, Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, is very impartial. Hindi naging madamot si Manong Johnny sa pagbibigay payo at paggabay, lalo na sa mga neophytes na kagaya ko nung unang termino ko dito sa Senado. Siya ang naging pamantayan ko sa pagiging mambabatas. He was not just my mentor. He was a father figure in my imparting lessons in governance and life. He taught me the importance of staying true to one's principles, standing firm even in the face of adversity, and always putting the nation's welfare above all else. His advice often resonates with me, especially during challenging times. One of his most memorable lessons was about the importance of courage in leadership. He once told me, Jingoy, public service is not for the faint of heart. Matuto ka na maging matibay sa gitna ng mga kritisismo. Magsakripisyo kung kinakailangan at manindigan para sa tama gaano man kahirap. Today, Mr. President, as we honor former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile, we celebrate more than his accomplishments. We celebrate his enduring legacy. He is a reminder to all of us in public service of what it truly means to lead with integrity, wisdom, and an unrelenting dedication to our people. Manong Johnny is not just a legislator. He is an institution. To Manong Johnny, as many of us fondly refer to him, thank you for being a mentor and an inspiration. We appreciate your sacrifice, lifelong dedication to the Filipino people. You have established a standard of public service that is a tough act to follow, but one we will strive to emulate. Manong Johnny, mabuhay ka, at gusto ko po, happy ka. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Senate President Pro Tem Estrada. Majority Floor Leader.
Mr. President, the following members of this chamber would want to have their co-sponsorship speeches be inserted into the records, Mr. President, to wit, Senator Grace Poe, Senator Sherwin Gatchalian, Senator Bongo, Senator Ronald De La Rosa, including this representation, Mr. President.
Noted and inserted into the records.
Mr. President, no other member wishes to interpolate or propose amendments to the measure. I move to adopt proposed Senate Resolution number 1223.
Is there any
Subject to
objection?
style. So move, Mr. President.
Is there any objection? Hearing none. Motion is approved. Therefore, stated resolution is deemed adopted.
Mr.
Majority
President,
Floor Leader.
With the consent of the body, I move that we suspend our rules to recognize the Chief Presidential Legal Counsel and distinguished former Senate President Juan Ponce Enrile for his response. I so move, Mr. President.
With the permission of the body, Chair would like to recognize the Honorable Juan Ponce Enrile, former Senate President and current Chief Presidential Legal Counsel, to deliver his response. You have the floor, sir, and you may proceed.
Okay na ba?
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'm really overwhelmed by this event. I never expected that I will come back to this chamber in a wheelchair. But that is the problem of all of us. We all suffer from the same disease, you and I, and that disease is time. It comes sooner or later. Now it is my time. But nonetheless, I appreciate, Mr. President, this unusual and unique gesture that you have accorded me this evening to recognize my humble contribution, not only to this chamber, but to the country. And I must tell you that if there is anything else that I will cherish much in my life, it will be this. And I would like to thank you, Mr. President Chis Escudero, and all those who spoke here, as well as those who did not. Beginning with Nancy, Joel, Lauren, Migs, JV, Mark, Robin, Bong, and Jinggoy. Thank you very much for the very kind words that you have extended to me. To be in this chamber is not something that can be taken for granted. It is an honor, a privilege, and very heavy responsibility. You represent the people, you represent the country, you balance the lower house, you're another chamber, your president is number 3 in the hierarchy of succession, and that is why I would like to commend you and congratulate you for being here. Thank you very much for this honor. You know, since I left this Senate in 2016, I thought it was the end of my political career. And the question that came to my mind at that time was, what am I going to do now? So finally, I decided to study the country, study the planet, study everything that matters to any people on this planet, for them to exist, persist, and survive. And that is why today I would like to let you know that if there's anything I can do for you, for each and every one of you, just call me and I will give you my 2 cents advice. You are now in charge of this country, and this country must be handled by every generation of Filipinos. No one, no president, no senator, no member of the House can singly develop this country, it must be developed by the collective effort of every Filipino and every generation. It is the only country that we have, and we happen to be here. We cannot change our geography. We have to deal with our present environment. One thing I can tell you, your young people, I've worked with you, I've worked with your parents, but you are living at a time perhaps much more difficult and much more challenging than the time I have lived with. I went to war during the war. I participated in that we have had in this chamber. I've been jailed several times, but I survived, and that's why I'm here today. That is the essence of our struggle to make this country exist. Not for ourselves, not for anyone, but for our families and our descendants. And so today, thank you for granting me this honor. Thank you for giving me this resolution. Perhaps this will be the last honor that I will receive, but nonetheless, from the bottom of my heart, I'm grateful and thank you very much.
Sa karangalan po namin, Manong Janet, maraming salamat. Session is suspended.
I-paraphrase ko si Patricia Evangelista, do some people need killing, Mr. Duterte?
Ma'am, presidente ako. Nagagastos ako sa gobyerno. Bakit ako magbubuhay sa mga putang inang yan? Kung yung pera na ipapakain ko dyan sa preso, ibigay ko na lang doon sa mga tao dyan sa walang bigat.
So mas okay
Walang
kung
trabaho.
patayin sila kesa
Wala
ipreso
akong pakialam
sila?
dyan sa kriminal, ma'am.
So thank you for making that of record.
Alam sa kriminal kung saan silang impernong gusto nilang.
Go ahead, Mr. President.
Nagtataka ako hanggang ngayon ang Justice Department hindi pa nag-file ng kaso hanggang ngayon. Katagal lang. Matagal ako pumapatay ng tao hanggang ngayon hindi pa sila nag-file ng kaso.
Mr. Chair, another addition to the list that's growing by the minute.
Okay, for the record, Mr. President. Wala, Mr. President, for the record, kasi may nagtanong din sa akin
Wala, wag na tayo magdrama dito. Tapusin na natin itong istorya na ito dito sa Pilipinas.
For the record, Mr. President,
Sinaawa ako dito sa mga pulis. Sa totoo lang, naawa ako sa mga pulis, pati sundalo. Kaya ako, akin, mine and mine alone.
Mr. President, kanina pa ho kayo tingin ng tingin sa amin. Lagi kayo tumitingin sa kanan. Hindi ho kayo tumitingin sa kaliwa. Nagpapansinan na ba ho kayo ni Senator De Lima?
Wala maganda dyan, dito lang.
Anyway,
Mr. Chair?
to be serious, on
Yes,
a serious
Mr.
note,
Chair,
sir.
I
think,
beg
Senator Jinggoy,
SP Pro
Senator
Tempore to lead us in setting the tone that this is not a laughing matter.
Yes,
Salamat, Mr. Chair.
I was not joking.
I was just,
How do you deal with the problem? Ano
Mr.
kaya ang tingin ninyo sa... Hindi... I'm sorry to tell you, I'm sorry to express to the nation. Unforgiving ako, hardliner, alam nila yan.
pati pulis alam nila. They are not ready siguro to talk about it. Sinabi ko yan sa mga pulis. Putang ina kayong mga pulis, pag pumasok kayo dyan sa droga, kayo ang mauuna. For all of its successes and shortcomings, I alone take full legal responsibility sa lahat na nagawa ng mga pulis pursuant to my order. Ako ang managot. At ako ang makulong. Huwag yung pulis na sumunod sa order ko. Kawawa naman, nagtatrabaho lang. Yun ang gusto kong sabihin sa Pilipino at mabutit niyaya ninyo ako dito. Once and for all, yan ang gusto kong sabihin sa tao. I have warned all of you as your president, then, and as a private citizen now. Drugs will destroy the Filipino. It will destroy my country. And I will never allow it. Baski ako empleyado sa gobyerno o private citizen, I will do what is necessary to protect my country, my community, at yung mga anak natin. This is a matter of principle. At papagkamatayan ko yan. Maraming salamat. I'm ready to answer your question.
Thank you, Mr. President. But now, Padilla, what was your point?
Maraming salamat po, Chairman. Gusto ko lamang pong sundan yung sinabi ng ating pong resource speaker, si Ms. Cristina M. Gonzales. Yun po yung nilalaman po ng aking paunang salita kanina. Natunay po talaga na nagkakaroon po ng paglilinis. Yun po yung sinasabi niya na pagka magpapalit po ng administrasyon, kaya po kanina, pinag-uusapan natin yung 2015 hanggang 2016. Kasi noong 2015 po, yun na po yung umpisa ng tinatawag nating paglilinis ng mga ninja cops. Kasi po, papasok na po yung bagong administrasyon. Yun po yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Cristina Gonzales. Natunay po na nangyayari yan sa underworld. Na kapag ganyan po talaga, napapasok na po yung isang administrasyon na meron po talagang political will na talagang duruging niyang drug syndicates at paglipana po ng droga. Talaga pong yung mga may alaga, yung pong mga tinatawag natin po talaga na talagang yun mga scalawags po talaga, talaga maglilinis po yan. Yun po yung sinasabi. Kaya po yung 2015, bago po pumasok si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, naglilinis na po yung mga tinatawag nating scalawags. Maraming salamat.
Minutes for opening statement, if you want.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. President,
may I interrupt you?
yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but I have to respond to the remark of Senator De Lima. It is only fair na bigyan niyo ako ng 1 minute. And I have read, this is part of my speech, but I want to make it of record. Ito yung the long and short sa trabaho ko nung mayor ako pati presidente ako is that the jobs nung dalawang trabaho was never easy and it was not meant to be. I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs and without compromise. Kasali na lahat yung naririnig niyo. Whatever it is, hindi ako nag-compromise. Sinabi ko ito, pagka pumasok kayo dyan, walang compromise, walang ariglo, walang usapan. Do not do it in my city. Nung presidente ako, sabi ko, bitawan ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, magkakaroon talaga tayo ng problema. Ito na nga itong ngayon. As I've tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs firmly and without compromise.
Yan ang gusto ko lang iiwan dito bago ako aalis. O bago ako alis sa mundong ito. For all of its successes and shortcomings, it was not a perfect one. Maraming mali. Baka may maraming krimen. Alam mo, gusto ko lang iiwan ito sa Pilipino. I would never have any other chance maybe in the future. That for all of the successes and mali o ano, I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo. I am ready for your questions.
Mr. President, kanina pa ho kayo tingin ng tingin sa amin. Hindi kayo, lagi kayo tumitingin sa kanan. Hindi ho kayo tumitingin sa kaliwa. Nagpapansinan na ba kayo ni Senator De Lima?
Wala maganda dyan, dito lang.
Anyway,
Mr. Chair.
to be serious,
Yes,
on a serious
Mr.
note,
Chair,
sir.
I
think,
beg
Senator
the
Jinggoy,
SP Pro
Senator
Tempore to lead us in setting the tone that this is not a laughing matter.
I'm
Yes,
not,
Salamat, Mr. Chair.
I was not joking.
I was just, para ma-lighten lang yung mood, Mr. Chair. Anyway, on a serious note,
Yes, okay.
Mr.
Continue.
President.
If you permit it.
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
Senator Bato. Yes.
Senator, may I
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
interject? Lahat itong sa right side ko, dumaan ito ng Chief of Police, Police Director. Puro commander ng death squad yan.
I thought there was no existence.
Trabaho ng pulis yan. Literally, hindi mo sabihin ng death squad. Yung isang senador, yan ang nakaupo dyan, si Senator De La Rosa. Death squad rin yan. Because they were police directors handling the controlling crimes in the city. So pag sinabi mong death squad, it's a very loose term na ginagamit mo lang parang gano'n easily. Lahat yan sila, ito, si Danao, ayan o. Ayan, nagdadasal kasi sa kasalanan niya siguro. Magkano bang, ilan bang pinatay mo? Dumaan yan. Ito, De La Rosa. Tanungin ko sila ngayon. Tanungin ninyo. Openly, lahat yan dumaan pagka-police chief. Pati yan si Gamboa. Tanungin ninyo. Danao, kung may utos ba ako na patayin ninyo yung tao, nakatali yung paa, pati kamay sa likod, or assassinate them. Ang sinabi ko, ganito, prangkahan tayo, encourage the criminals to fight. Encourage them to draw their guns. Yan, buhay yan. Ayan ang sila, yan ang instruction ko. Pati yan si Kuy. Encourage, pati yan si De La Rosa, encourage them lumaban. Pagka lumaban, patayin ninyo para matapos na ang problema ko sa siyudad ko. Noong na-presidente ako, ganun rin sa command conference. Diyan sa Malacanang. Yan ang utos ko. Bakit ko pagbigyan important? Mag-criminal, they go after the innocent people robbing. Mabuti na lang sana kung aakyat ng bahay. Mayor ako matagal. Aakyat ng bahay. Magnakaw. Re-rapin yung bata, re-rapin yung babae, tapos papatayin. Kung ikaw ang mayor, how do you deal with the problem? Ano kaya ang tingin ninyo sa... I'm sorry to tell you, I'm sorry to express to the nation. Unforgiving ako, hardliner, alam nila yan. Pati police alam nila. They are not ready siguro to talk about it. Sinabi ko yan sa mga police. Putang ina kayong mga police, pag pumasok kayo dyan sa droga, kayo ang mauuna.
Mr. Chairson, it would be me. I assume full responsibility. So, do you assume responsibility for the death of Kian De Los Santos? Mr.
No.
Chair? No. How about
Ala-
si Carl
Alam mo, ma'am,
Anthony Nunez?
before you rumble on those many things,
No, I'm not rambling, Mr. Chair. Very specific yung mga tanong ko.
specific ang law. Guilt is personal. Tanong ka muna ng abogado.
Okay lang po. Kayang-kaya kong magtanong sa abogado. Sige,
tanong ka muna
itanong ko
ngayon
po.
before we proceed.
No.
Hindi tayo
I have
magkakaintindihan
prepared
dito.
these questions with my
Guilt
legislative
is
staff.
personal.
Yes, it's very personal.
Hindi
So,
mo pwedeng ipasa sa iba yan.
no, hindi po ito pagpasa.
Ah,
Iniimbestiga
kaya nga.
po ng Blue Ribbon yung war on drugs at yung naging bunga ng extrajudicial killings dyan. And I am basing my question dun sa mga sinabi ninyo repeatedly, parang tuwing Oktubre nga sinasabi nyo, na you will take responsibility.
Correct.
So, yes. So now let me ask you about Carl Anthony Nunez, 20 years old. Walang nahanap na droga o baril sa katawan niya. Sabi nga ng investigador, mistaken identity. Do you take responsibility for his death?
You know, ma'am, can I ask for a recess of just a
It's
few
all right,
minutes?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Responsibility, as you said in October 2020, as you said in October 2021 about assuming responsibility for the war on drugs, do you take responsibility for the death of Carl Anthony Nunez, Mr. Chair?
Alam mo, yung policy, ma'am, hindi mo nakuha yung yung policy ng presidente.
Nakuha ko po, policy
I
maker
was
din po
talking
ako.
about the policy. I take full responsibility yung sinabi ko na war on drugs.
You said,
Pero
sir,
kung
you can hold me responsible for any death.
specific crime,
Yes, sir. You spoke
hindi
about
pwede yan.
you spoke about
At
specific
saka,
crimes.
kung sabihin ko, I will take full responsibility, magdating tayo sa korte, hindi naman tatanggapin yan.
Well, Mr. Chair, and if the resource person could keep his volume and pitch to a normal
You're trying
level.
to pin me down on
Mr. Chair, you are pinned down by your own statements
you
of
cannot-
October.
you have to pin me
Mr.
down
Chair.
lower.
I'm not trying to pin you
no,
down
no,
on
The
air.
exchanges are no longer productive.
Mr.
The hearing
Chair.
is
Do not pin me
suspended.
down on semantics.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. So, i-summarize ko na lang yung unang line of questioning ko. The point of my question tungkol sa assuming responsibility or not kina Kian, Carl Anthony Nunez, itatanong ko rin dapat sa Althea Barbon na 4 years old, at si Carl Arnaiz, at si Reynaldo de Guzman alias Kulot, na-confirm sa Caloocan Court na the evidence was merely planted by the police. Ang point ng unang questioning ko na yon ay kung ina-acknowledge nyo o hindi na yung policy nyo caused the death of innocents. So lastly, Mr. Chair, actually may mga isang dosenang tanong pa sana ako sa dating presidente pero na-high blood yata sila sa akin. So dalawang huling tanong na lang. Una po. Yes, Mr. Chair.
Ganun lang siguro kasi excited lang ako. First time ako naka-appear ng Senate. But walang personalan yan. It has nothing to do with you, pati yung character ko. Yung boses ko lang kasi excited. But if you are offended by the demeanor, then mag-change gear ako. I'll try to do it with moderation.
Salamat kaayo, Mr.
Continue, ma'am.
Chair.
Continue.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair.
At saka,
Hindi,
sandali, ma'am.
Mr.
Ganito,
Chair.
and I'm addressing lahat kayo. Taga-probinsya po ako. Hindi ninyo pwede akong masumo na paulit-ulit. Pag ginawa ninyo yan, isnabin ko kayo. Wala akong pera. I am not that rich na mag-travel dito sa aeroplano. Mahal yan. I am, bubukay ako sa retirement pay ko. So, pati itong pamasahe ko, retirement pay ko yan. Wala akong negosyo ever since. Gobyerno lang ako. I have been an employee of government ever since. Kaya, I do not have my public life is open to everybody. So, magastos masyado, ma'am. Kaya, kung maaari lang, tapusin natin ito hanggang bukas. Huwag na tayong umalis dito.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Salamat kaayo,
Yes,
Mr.
sir.
Chair.
So, tapusin talaga natin ito. Tapusin natin ito dito ngayon. Huwag tayong umalis dito hanggang umaga. Umabot man tayo hanggang umaga bukas. Huwag tayong umalis dito. Tapusin natin dito.
Okay, Mr. President, we are prioritizing the questions directed to you. Sige, Senator Ortiveros.
Salamat kaayo, Mr. Chair. So, pangalawang tanong ko, Tinawagan nyo ba si Senior Superintendent Padilla para i-congratulate siya sa pagpatay sa 3 high-value targets na Chinese nationals na inilagay sa loob ng Davao Penal Colony? Kasi sinabi nyo daw, congrats Superintendent Padilla, job well done. Pero grabe ang ginawang dinuguan. Do you confirm this, Mr. Chair?
You call Padilla now because he's lying. I do not know him, and I do not have to congratulate this policeman and soldiers. Trabaho ninyo yan. Why do I have to congratulate you? Magtrabaho kayo dyan.
So you do not confirm na tinawagan nyo si
I do
Senior
not-
Superintendent Padilla?
I only congratulate people with who itong mga police na graduate with honors kasi nagtuturo ako sa Police Academy. May congratulatory message ako. Pero mag-congratulate ako ng ano.
Well, Mr. Chair, of course, absolutely hindi naman natin kailangan investigate yung graduating with honors sa academy. Pero yung EJ case sa war on drugs, kailangan talagang kaya natin iniimbestiga.
Kaya
And,
ma'am, huwag
Mr. Chair,
tayong umalis dito sa kwartong ito hanggang matapos ang gusto ninyong kunin sa akin.
well, Mr. Chair, so yung huling tanong ko for today, for the record,
Bakit
ano po?
tinawag
Mr.
ninyo
Chair.
ako dito tapos yan lang ang huli ninyong tanong?
May mga colleagues pa yata tayo, Mr. Chair, na magtatanong sa dating presidente. So, for the record, sinasabi nyo ba na ang mga drug users at drug criminals ay dinideserve nilang mamatay na lang kaysa pumunta sa jail? O para i-paraphrase ko si Patricia Evangelista, do some people need killing, Mr. Duterte?
Ma'am, presidente ako. Nagagastos ako sa gobyerno. Bakit ako magbubuhay sa mga putang inang yan? Kung yung pera na ipapakain ko dyan sa preso, ibigay ko na lang doon sa mga tao dyan sa walang bigat.
So, mas okay
Walang
kung
trabaho.
patayin sila kaysa
Wala
ipreso
mo
sila?
pakialam dyan sa kriminal, ma'am.
So, thank you for making that of record.
Alam sa kriminal kung saan silang impernong gusto nilang pumunta.
Well, Mr. Chair, for the record,
You make your own history in this planet.
yes, Mr.
Yun
Chair.
ang gusto nilang mangyari. Doon sila sa impyerno at doon tayo magkita.
Well, Mr. Chair, wala namang jurisdiction ng Senado sa impyerno. Dito lang sa bansa natin pwede tayong mag-investigate.
Doon tayo pupunta.
Well, wala po akong ambisyon pumuntang impyerno pa. Pero Mr. Chair, ang punto lang nito, ang punto lang nito ay nung magsisimula ang anumang police operations, drug-related police operations, supposed to be, at sinabi ng mga resource persons, merong pong manual of operations, merong continuum of force sa pag-enforce implement ng police anti-drug operation. So, ang premise is, yun na nga, arrest muna at build the case. Well, Mr. Chair, as a final word, I hope and I imagine that the Department of Justice is watching dahil ang daming admissions ng dating presidente involving criminal acts. Salamat kayo. Kasaysayan na lang po maghuhusga. Salamat kayo, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator
Mr.
Ortiz.
Chair.
Yes, go ahead, Mr. President.
Nagtataka ako hanggang ngayon ang Justice Department hindi pa nag-file ng kaso hanggang ngayon. Katagal lang. Matagal ako pumapatay ng tao hanggang ngayon hindi pa sila nakafile ng kaso.
Mr. Chair, another addition to the list that's growing by the minute.
Okay, for the record, Mr. President.
Wala,
Mr. President, for the record, kasi may nagtanong din sa akin
Wala. Huwag na tayo magdrama dito. Tapusin na natin itong istorya na ito dito sa Pilipinas.
For the record, Mr. President, wala.
Kasi naawa ako dito sa mga pulis. Sa totoo lang, naawa ako sa mga pulis, pati sundalo. Kaya ako, akin mind and mind alone. Pag nag-inutusan ko ito, mag-operate itong mga buang na ito, kung ano mangyari akin yan, I'm emotional because I've been longing to state this particular sentiment. Protektado ko yan sila. Basta in the fulfillment of duty, Mr. Senator, yan sila, naging chief of police yan. Protektado ko ang police pag nagtrabaho in the fulfillment of duty. Pero alam nila, ang mga police na pumasok ng kidnapping, alam nila yung police nila, pinatay ko. Full legal responsibility. Sa lahat na nagawa ng mga police, pursuant to my order, ako ang managot. At ako ang makulong, huwag yung police. na sumunod sa order ko, kawawa naman, nagtatrabaho lang. Yun ang gusto kong sabihin sa Pilipino at mabuti niyaya ninyo ako dito. Once and for all, yan ang gusto kong sabihin sa tao. I have warned all of you as your president, then, and as a private citizen now, drugs will destroy the Filipino. It will destroy my country. And I will never allow it. Baski ako empleyado sa gobyerno o private citizen, I will do what is necessary to protect my country, my community, at yung mga anak natin. This is a matter of principle. At papagkamatayan ko yan. Maraming salamat. I'm ready to answer your question.
Thank you, Mr. President. But now, Ayanto Padilla for reminding this representation that his name was also mentioned. So, if he wants to react, go ahead.
Maraming salamat po, Chairman. Gusto ko lamang pong patunayan, Jehovah's Witness po ay non-political. Never silang na-involve sa politika. Opo. Pangalawa po, naiintindihan ko po kayo. Nararamdaman ko po yung nararamdaman po ninyo dahil ang kapatid ko po, once upon a time, napatay din po. At siya din po ay binansagan na Carnap King. So naiintindihan ko po, nararamdaman ko po ang sakit. Dahil nung nangyari po ito, ako po ay napakabata pa nung pinatay yung aking kapatid at sinabing siya ay Carnap King. Siya po ay ganun din, summary execution din po. Kaya naiintindihan ko po kayo at nakikiisa po ako sa inyo.
Padilla, what was your point?
Maraming salamat po, Chairman. Gusto ko lamang pong sundan yung sinabi ng ating pong resource speaker, si Ms. Cristina M. Gonzales. Yun po yung nilalaman po ng aking paunang salita kanina. Na tunay po talaga na nagkakaroon po ng paglilinis. Yun po yung sinasabi niya na pagka magpapalit po ng administrasyon, kaya po kanina, pinag-uusapan natin yung 2015 hanggang 2016. Kasi noong 2015 po, yun na po yung umpisa ng tinatawag nating paglilinis ng mga ninja cops. Kasi po papasok na po yung bagong administrasyon. Yun po yung sinasabi ni Ma'am Cristina Gonzales na tunay po na nangyayari yan sa underworld. Na kapag ganyan po talaga, napapasok na po yung isang administrasyon na meron po talagang political will na talagang durugin niyang drug syndicates at paglipana po ng droga. Talaga pong yung mga may alaga, yung pong mga tinatawag natin po talaga na talagang yun mga iskalawags po talaga, talaga maglilinis po yan. Yun po yung sinasabi. Kaya po yung 2015, bago po pumasok si Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte, naglilinis na po yung mga tinatawag nating iskalawags. Maraming salamat.
To the next hearing. And a personal detail about that resource person. Gusto ko lang i-make of record na it is already common knowledge na dahil isang leader, si Laila de Lima, nung siya ay senador at siya ay babae, wineponize talaga yung batas laban sa kanya in the most sexist and misogynistic way. Lalo na sa, unfortunately, at that time, yung kabilang house. So, I look forward dun sa ipepresent niya sa komiteng ito, Mr. Chair, yung kanyang pag-aaral, comparison, nung napag-alaman, nung CHR, nung siya ay chair, tungkol sa mga extrajudicial killings sa Davao City, at comparison nun sa nakita nilang, ng komite niya dito sa Senado na EJ case, panahon ng war on drugs. And I look forward na hindi natin papayagang maulit yung pambabastos na ginawa sa kanya, lalo na sa kabilang house noon at sa online trolling na ginawa laban sa kanya bilang isang leader at bilang isang babae. Just for the record, Mr. Chair, with full confidence that our committee, subcommittee, and our Senate will uphold that. Daghang salamat, Mr. Chair.
Ayanto Bato, De La Rosa.
Yes, Mr. Chair. First of all, I just would like to be clarified because the beginning of the hearing, you told us that Senator Joel Villanueva is being appointed by you as the vice chairman of this subcommittee. So therefore, he's a member of this committee. He's claiming to be not.
No, he will be a member. Everything will be fixed, Mr.
Thank you.
I'm willing to be questioned by Senator Bato, Mr. President.
No.
If there's any question that you would like to
we will
raise.
fix everything.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And Mr. Chair, I just would like to put on record my observation in this committee hearing that in this committee hearing, our resource persons are given even 10 to 15 to beyond the 15 minutes time to speak up. Unlike what happened in the Quadcom in the lower house, wherein kawawa ang mga pulis na ginawang resource person doon. This question is answerable by yes or no? Yes lang or no lang. No more explanation. Pero dito, Mr. Chair, we are treating our resource person with dignity and respect. So I just would like to put it on record, Mr. Chair. And as a follow-up to the question of our majority or Senate Pro Tempore to Senator De Lima, Mr. Chair, isn't it the fact that NBI is operationally and administratively under the Department of Justice?
It is.
Yes. So if it is, if you are morally convinced about the wrongdoings of the former mayor of Davao City, about these killings, bakit mo po hinahayaan lang na walang report yung NBI sa'yo? You have instructed the NBI to follow up on this investigation. Tapos natapos na lang yung buong year, 6 years of the Aquino administration, hindi ka nakapag-file ng kaso kay President Duterte. Is that malfeasance on your part as that Secretary of Justice wherein you are morally convinced na may ginawang masama si Pangulong Mayor Duterte. Tapos ngayon, hinayaan mo lang NBI na walang ginawa, walang binalik na report, or baka sinabihan ka ng NBI, ma'am, ang ating kaso will not stand in court. Baka ganun sinabi sa iyo. Kaya wala na nangyayari doon sa ginawa mong tasking sa NBI.
Can we request for a brief answer, ma'am?
My brief answer is that I did make some certain follow-ups, and there was reports from the NBI, verbal reports, when I asked about them and that what would they tell me, that nahihirapan sila na mag-access sa Davao ng mga possible witnesses.
Can I have the name of the NBI chief during that time na kinausap, na sinabihan nyo? Word lang.
NBI, was it
Paki-recall na lang, ma'am. And then once
Yes,
you recall, tell us. Okay. Nandito pa kasi ako sa time na I'm giving the victims the chance nga to speak out, to air. Okay, nandito pa tayo. Dalawa na lang naman yung ang tatanungin ko. Okay, Mayor Mabilog, you want to say something? Pwedeng hindi, pwedeng meron. Nasa sayo. Minutes for opening statement if you want.
Mr. Chair,
Mr. President?
may I interrupt you?
Yes, sir.
I'm sorry, but I have to respond to the remarks of Senator De Lima. It is only fair na bigyan niyo ako ng 1 minute. And I have read, this is part of my speech, but I want to make it of record. Ito yung the long and short sa trabaho ko nung mayor ako, pati presidente ako, is that the jobs nung dalawang trabaho was never easy. And it was not meant to be. I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs and without compromise. Kasali na lahat yung naririnig niyo. Whatever it is, hindi ako nag-compromise. Sinabi ko, ito, pagka pumasok kayo dyan, walang compromise, walang ariglo, walang usapan. Do not do it in my city. Nung presidente ako, sabi ko, bitawan ninyo. Kasi pag hindi, magkakaroon talaga tayo ng problema. Ito na nga itong ngayon. As I have tried to do the best I can to address the problem of illegal drugs firmly and without compromise. Yan ang gusto ko lang iiwan dito bago ako aalis. O bago ako alis sa mundong ito. For all successes and shortcomings, it was not a perfect one. Maraming mali. Baka may maraming krimen. Alam mo, gusto ko lang iiwan ito sa Pilipino. I would never have any other chance maybe in the future. That for all of the successes and mali o ano, I and I alone take full legal, moral responsibility. Yan ang iniiwan ko sa inyo. I am ready for your questions.
President, kanina pa ho kayo tingin ng tingin sa amin. Hindi kayo, lagi kayo tumitingin sa kanan. Hindi ho kayo tumitingin sa kaliwa. Nagpapansinan ba kayo ni Senator De Lima?
Wala maganda dyan, dito lang.
Anyway,
Mr. Chair.
to be serious, on
Yes,
a serious
Mr.
note,
Chair,
sir.
I
think,
beg
Senator Jinggoy,
the SP Pro
Senator
Tempore to lead us in setting the tone that this is not a laughing matter.
I'm
Yes,
not, I was not joking.
I was just, para ma-lighten lang yung mood, Mr. Chair. Anyway, on a serious note,
Yes, okay.
Mr.
Continue.
President, how do you assess the campaign against illegal drugs during your time, Mr. President? Do you consider it as a success, Mr. President?
Mr. Senator, it is a continuing problem for the country and for the entire world. The drug problem is a very serious and pernicious, virulent ailment that the country is facing. Panahon ko and the previous presidents, yung panahon ko, hindi siguro ninyo nagustuhan, not you, yung the entire country, I am addressing the entire country. Baka hindi ninyo nagustuhan. But yun ang style. Sinabi ko nga, I tried to do the best that I could. Eh kung nagkulang ako, pasensya. Pero ang solution during my time was a call of duty of the president. Ako yun. Kasi ako yung presidente sa panahon ko. At hindi ako nagkulang, Mr. Senator. Nag-warning ako lahat narinig ng Pilipinas. Huminto kayo sa droga